In the next couple of hours, I'm going to take you from earning $0 a month with AI to over $10,000 a month. You're going to learn how to build and sell AI apps, agents, workflows, systems, architectures, and so much more. This is going to change your life, guaranteed. You literally just have to sit here and lock in for the next couple of hours and you're done. To start this free course, I'm going to show you examples of AI agents I've made that have made me hundreds to thousands of dollars. We're going to start with covering the agents that made me a couple of hundred, then a couple of thousand, and then a couple of tens of thousands. So let's get into it. I made $500 building an AI agent that took only 2 hours to make. In this video, I'm going to show you what the AI agent is, how I found the client, how I built the agent, and how I proposed the price. Because at first, the client was only trying to pay me $100 for this. And this video will be a perfect example of small wins add up. Now, before I talk about what the AI agent actually does, I want to take a moment to show you the AI gold rush we are in. According to GPT-5, the AI agent market is valued at $8 billion right now. In 2023, it used to be $4 billion, meaning in just 2 years, the market has doubled its value. And with new AI tools being created and sold every day, you are missing out on a literal gold rush if you're not building AI agents. And the rest of this video will prove to you how much you're missing out on. So what does this $500 AI agent that I built and sold even do? It finds trending TikToks for a specific niche, transcribes these TikToks, and creates a viral script based on the scripts of these viral TikToks. But the generated script is for marketing a specific product. So let's say you were selling omega-3 supplements on TikTok Shop. The agent will find viral TikToks in the supplement niche, download their scripts, transcribe them, and they create a new viral script advertising your omega-3 supplement. Most brands suck at writing viral TikTok scripts, but no worries, this agent can do it for you. This is immensely valuable to these big brands that need to create more social media content on TikTok or Instagram Reels, right? Finding viral TikToks and then scripting them and creating your own unique script is a very long, arduous process. So how did I even build this? N8N. Simple. I used N8N to build the entire AI automation from start to finish. I linked it with a Google form where the client can enter the product niche, name, description, target audience, and any example TikTok videos that they may have found themselves. If the client does not put in any sample TikToks, the automation will just use Apify to scrape viral TikToks in the entered niche. See, N8N can be very powerful if used correctly. Now, if the client does put in a TikTok, then the workflow will just use that TikTok to create a viral script from. Yeah, N8N, when used correctly, is so powerful. The next steps for this agent will be to use AI to maybe create the TikTok as well, not just the script. I mean, that would be pretty legendary if you ask me. It's like your own AI researcher, scripter, and creator. Like that, you're literally paying UGC creators, but they're just completely AI. And one thing to note is that this automation is not long. There's not many blocks and there's barely any code involved. Anyone, including you, could have created this. I don't care if you have zero coding experience or you have 20 plus years of coding experience. Code is not needed. Now, while all this is great, how do I actually find this client? I mean, how did I even get her to pay me $500 instead of $100 like she initially proposed? First step, how did I find her? Reddit. I regularly post about my AI agents that I build, and I also respond to other people who post about AI agents they build. Just by interacting with various communities, I am able to network and have conversations with potential clients like my TikTok script writer project client. Let's name her Bob. Well, that's a guy's name. Let's name her Sally. And it just so happened to work out that my talk with Sally resulted in her asking if I could build this for her for $100. So on Reddit, I eventually met Sally and we began conversation, and one thing led to another, and she basically asked if I could build a TikTok automation for her for $100. And of course, I said yes, but let's have a call first because I didn't want to agree on the price yet. I mean, $100, that's really cheap. See, when you meet someone online, you're not going to want to pay them a dime, right? So in fact, her saying $100 in itself shocked me because most people will say, hey, can you build it for free? And if it works, then I'll pay you. But she was ready to give $100 already, so I could tell that she was ready to spend. But it was on that call that I explained something to her to convince her that $500 was worth the investment. I simply asked her, how much is your time worth? She said, what? And then I asked again, how much is your time worth? And then she asked me, what do you mean? And then I responded, if you have to assign yourself an hourly rate to do any work, what would it be? Then she said, maybe about like $35 to $45 an hour. So let's say $40 on average. I said, okay, so if TikTok research and scripting takes you even 1 hour a day and you do this only 3 times a week, you're spending $120 a week on researching and scripting. She said, I mean, yeah, I guess so. So then I continued. In a month, that's nearly $480 spent. So nearly $500, meaning in 3 months, that's $1,500 you're spending on this operation. And she started understanding the true value of this automation. So then I closed with, If you pay just 1 month cost of that work, so $500, you can have this automation that I built for you for life. And without any objection, she agreed. Deal closed. That's how easy it is, folks. $500 sent. Right here. If you want to work with me one-on-one to build and sell AI agent systems, click the first link in the description. I will literally give you your first client so you can have real hands-on experience and get paid for it. No prior experience needed. Now that you understand the opportunity at hand and how easy it really is to replicate what I did, do not make an excuse for why you're not earning money from this AI gold rush too.
My AI agent is going viral. Everyone's talking about it on Reddit. It's ranked #1 on Google and it's made over $12,000 without me marketing it at all. This was a complete accident. In fact, this is the first video I'm creating about my AI agent on this channel because it was a literal side project that I forgot about. And now it's earning nearly $2,000 a month. In this video, I'm going to break down what my AI agent is, how it went viral on accident, and the results of it. Now, most people watching this video will click off at a certain point and miss key hacks that I share that can help you make money in this whole AI gold rush we're in very easily. But if you're on the top 1% that stay, you may very well find the hack to $0 marketing for your AI business. Now, what exactly is my AI agent? My AI agent is a tool that automates outreach on Instagram. In other words, it sends messages to Instagram profiles, which is pretty basic, nothing too crazy at all. There's a lot of tools that are like this. The way my agent in particular works is you input the list of profiles you want the agent to DM, you write the message you want it to send, and then you click send and let the agent do all the messaging while you can go ahead and do something else like play basketball. And that is why someone would pay for something like this. I mean, ask yourself, are you going to sit there and send 1,000 messages a day on Instagram trying to advertise your product or service? Certainly not. I know I have better things to do and I definitely would not want to do that. I'd rather work on other parts of my business, right? Or go have fun with my friends and family, go play a sport. So because I don't want to sit there and waste hours sending messages, I'd rather have a tool or an AI agent do it for me. And this is why people pay to use this tool. Now, one cool thing about this agent is that I had to do zero market validation for this because there are already tools like this that are very popular and making a lot of money. So with tools that are already like this, I knew that there was a market, but I knew I could make an agent that's better than the ones that are currently out there. So I got to building. Now you might be wondering, why is my tool ranked #1 on Google when it's the newest? Well, we're gonna get into that later in the video. But first, how did I even build this tool? Simple. I use Cursor AI and ChatGPT. No, but I mean, I did, but I used Cursor mixed with Puppetry.js and very basic coding to build this. And yes, when I ran into problems, I did ask ChatGPT. See, getting a program to fire up your browser, go to a profile, and send a message on Instagram is actually really easy. Even if you are a complete beginner to coding, you can do it. Also, just like what I did, ask Cursor to do most of the heavy lifting for you. Nowadays, you don't really have to code much. For the AI component in my tool, I use OpenAI's API, so it's pretty cheap, right? And for the coding part, I use Cursor for absolutely everything. I did run into issues regarding Instagram login, but that is where you add a human in the loop. See, logins are usually protected on a lot of sites, and automating that is a pretty hard process. So what you can do is you can make your agent pause and let a human, unless you're an alien, log in for the tool and then let the agent continue and do the rest of the work. This is pretty cool, right? But how exactly did I get to $2,000 a month in profit without marketing this tool? This is where it gets a bit crazy. So the first thing I did, I simply posted on a couple of Reddit threads regarding my tool saying, hey, this is really cool, go check it out. Most of the comments got flagged by Reddit and I didn't see any buys from it anyway, so I stopped commenting on Reddit. But then somehow, somewhere, I got my first user. I think it was the Reddit, I honestly don't know. He was on a starter plan, so it was an easy $40 a month. That was my first paycheck from this app. And then I started messaging in a couple of Discord servers, right? And my website got more views. But then over the course of the following month, the users who had signed up for the tool genuinely loved the tool. And I had about 4 to 5 users only for this, right? But they kept using it again and again and again, nearly every single day. And that's when magic happened. They started sharing this tool on socials. And this is pretty huge. And now I'm not talking about Instagram stories or Snapchats. I'm talking having hard links to the website on Quora, Reddit, Facebook, and more. Basically, they're sharing the link to my tool all across the internet. And this is really, really important. As more users started using the product and sharing the link on public forums like Reddit or Quora, something something amazing started happening. My AI agent's website started increasing in the ranks of Google search. See, Google search's algorithm checks how many backlinks your product has, and the more shares across the internet your product has, or its website has, the more backlinks. As a result, the higher the ranking. And I'll be honest, I totally forgot about this product. Like, I thought it was a dead product. Yeah, I forgot about it. In fact, I hired someone I trusted to manage the operations, and I basically let it go. Said, hey man, do what you gotta do. Anyone who asks questions, just answer the questions. I'm out, basically. But I wasn't all the way out, and I'm not a giver upper, right? I just didn't see much growth, so I was like, this product, might not really have much legs. But that's when I found out I fucked up. See, on my website, I have a book a meeting button, right? Each time someone books a meeting, I get an email, and I realize that the number of emails that are popping up in my inbox for my product were increasing at a very fast rate. So originally, as someone who started letting go of the product, I realized, oh wait, this might actually have something. And that's when I found out the reason I was getting so many emails about this tool with new booked meetings nearly every single day was because this tool got ranked #1 on Google for the term Instagram mass DM. That is insane. In fact, the amount of search volume for this term alone and the fact that my AI agent is ranked #1 on Google results in an insane amount of new users for the tool. And it's still happening today. I'm getting emails nearly every day for this tool. Now, talking about money, in the last 6 months, my tool has made nearly $12,000 and I still have spent $0 marketing it. It literally marketed it itself. And no, I did not have an AI employee market it. Now, fast forward to today, as my product scales, I have been able to hire a customer sales rep to handle these meetings so I don't have to be on these meetings pitching my software to potential clients. So now the team looks like this. I have a customer sales rep handling the customer questions. Then I have an operations guy who's managing the software updates. And I, the founder, try to secure big deals with companies that are performing outreach. In fact, we recently signed 2 clients for $2,500 a month each, which is pretty nuts. And if you're a founder of a product, that's what you should be doing. You should not be working in your business. You should be working on your business. Now, for the 1% who made it to this part, this should show you that if you build a high quality agent, a lot of the marketing will be done by its users. Yes, you will need to lead the beginning push, but that's all.
I coded a profitable AI agent, not a website, not an app, an AI agent. And now I'm in the process of selling it for multiple 6 figures to a buyer with over $3 million in verified funds. From idea to building this AI agent to selling it to users for $700 a month to now getting it acquired, I will break down it all in this video. This was a pre-planned process, not luck. Trust me, no video on YouTube exists like this. So how did this idea even come about? For the last 1.5 years, I have been actively posting on YouTube, showcasing myself coding automation programs that can buy items from stores super fast, do mass messaging, generate AI QR codes, and more. A lot of these videos got under 10,000 views. I'm not pulling Mr. Beast numbers, am I? But I'm pulling something else. Girls? No. Paying users, which is better. I got an email from someone who saw one of my YouTube videos and saw that I had the skills of building these unique automation programs. The email read, hey, I'm having trouble getting shifts for work since I am barely by my laptop. Can you build an agent that books shifts for me with no mistakes? This is something that I have never been asked before. Honestly, I didn't even know this was a struggle that people had. But I hopped on a Google Meet with the client to understand his pain points a bit better. And this is what he had to say. Shifts for work release at random times. I'm not able to get these shifts since I'm only sometimes by my laptop and I can't just carry it around with me everywhere. Can you make an agent that is able to go for the shifts I want automatically? I can tell it ahead of time what I'm looking for, so when the shifts are available, it can just snag them. I was pretty confused, so I asked the worker, why don't you just use your phone? And this is what he had to say. I could, but I might miss the email saying there are shifts available because my phone may be in my pocket. I don't want to go crazy having to look at my phone every 2 seconds. I was like, wow, I look at my phone every 2 seconds to see if I get a text back. But there was one very important question that I asked him. How much does he earn per shift? His answer had me in shock, but we will revisit this later. Don't forget it because it's extremely important. But for now, let's talk about actually building the agent. So this is the flow of the AI agent. So going into the first part, the AI agent will be hooked up with the Gmail API so it can read the inbox and all the incoming emails of the user. The email with the upcoming shifts will always have the same subject start. New shifts releasing at random time. In this case, I put 8 p.m. So the agent will then read each email that has a subject line, new shifts releasing, and use GPT to decipher the shift details. So it's actually going to read the email body and look at all the data regarding the shifts that are being released. So this means the shift's type, the time of day, as well as the date of the shift. Now, with all this information in its knowledge base, it will then read the user's schedule and decide which shifts can the user actually work based on the user schedule, as well as the time of day and date of the shifts being released. Now, to actually schedule the shift for the worker, the agent will use one post request to log in to the user's portal and another HTTP post request to actually book the shift. And then the shift is booked and the user is happy and the flow is done. So pretty simple, to be honest, but very effective. Now, I will say the early working version of this AI agent was under 300 lines of code, which is absolutely bonkers. There was no UI, just a simple console app. But this is where agents beat traditional apps. Agents don't have to look pretty. As long as they successfully automate the intended task, the agent is great. Looks do not matter. So with the flow written out, it was time to build. I used Node.js, OpenAI API, Gmail API, Calendar API to successfully build the MVP out. It took about 4 days to build. The first step was mimicking the HTTP post request that the browser makes to the server to actually book the shift. This process took about 5 hours to do. What took a lot of days was actually training the model to be able to read the email data. It had a lot of trouble. I think it was because I was using GPT 3.5 originally, but at that time 4.0 just wasn't a thing. The main issue was that the email had a table with all the shift data, and for some reason the table format was just not being understood by the AI. Sometimes it would mix up the shifts, sometimes it would mix up the shift timings, everything was just discombobulated. I was able to get it to work after feeding it over 40 plus email examples, but once I switched to 4.0, the accuracy was just so much better. I think I would even have to use all 40 email examples if I just used 4.0 from the start, or if it was available from the start. Once the MVP was fully built, I spent 2 to 3 days more testing the full flow of the agent, from getting the shift release email to finally booking a shift, entire end to end. And the results surprised me. The AI agent was successfully booking shifts without the user having to do anything. It had a 95% accuracy in being able to read the emails, and it barely missed a shift. The client was extremely happy as he went from getting 3 shifts a week to 7, which is a 133% increase. But there was a problem. I did this all for free. In fact, I never brought up pricing to the client, but now I knew I had to. Now, do you remember when I asked a client how much he was making per shift? Well, his answer was $300 on average. So with this number in mind, I calculated the result of him getting 133% more shifts. Through this agent, he was earning $1,200 more a week, which is $4,800 a month. So if I'm bringing him $4,800 a month in additional revenue, I could charge him anywhere from 10 to 20% of the added benefit. So I pitched him $700 a month, and guess what? He agreed, no hesitation. And this is another part with building agents that automate tasks that bring customers direct financial value is so important. By bringing so much additional revenue to a client, being able to charge $500 to $700 a month is pretty easy. On the other hand, SaaS apps are stuck at charging customers $120 a month at the highest end. Agents that automate tasks that bring customers direct financial value can be priced at 4 to 5 times that a SaaS can be priced at. We're looking at $500 to $700 a month. With the product made, first paying user required, it was time to scale. And now I'm going to share with you how I spent $0 in marketing and was still able to scale to 13 plus users. I simply asked my first client, do you have any friends that would need this? If you refer anyone, I will give you $100 a month off. This is commonly known as a referral program and is a great way of getting more users to your agent or your SaaS. Well, over the next month, this first user ended up bringing 5 more users. Those 5 brought a total of 4 more users. And finally, for the last 3 to 4, I used Reddit and LinkedIn. My agent's revenue went from $700 a month to 2.1K a month to 5.6K a month and to now 9K a month. And aside from the same Stripe fees, there were no other costs for this agent. So that $9,000 a month was mainly profit. And this was amazing, and it is amazing. I'm blessed to be in this position, but this is where it gets even crazier. If you don't already know, you can sell your agent app SaaS for 2 to 10x its annual recurring revenue. My agent in the last 12 months has made about $70,000 annual recurring revenue. So according to the multiple, that values an agent at $140,000 to $700,000. On platforms like Acquire and Flippa, you can sell your app for these crazy multiples. So as I'm recording this video, I'm literally talking to buyers with $3 million, $4.2 million in verified funds who are highly interested in buying out this agent. So please pray for me that this goes through, because I have been spending hours in meetings with these people. But that's the beauty of it all. This was the goal. As soon as I got my first paying customer, I knew I was going to scale this. Once I hit a crazy annual recurring revenue, I was going to sell it on Acquire for a crazy multiple. And that's the lesson, to build your agent with the goal of getting acquired. Now that you have seen examples of AI apps and agents I've built, you're probably like, I wish I could see you build them live. Well, in this next video, you will. In this video, I'm going to build and sell an AI app completely from scratch. From app idea to market validation, to building the app, to doing a marketing campaign, to getting real paying customers and making money. Everything will be shown in this video. And to challenge myself, I'm only giving myself 24 hours to do all of this. And if I fail, I guess I'll be a sad, depressed failure. But we won't fail. And I'm going to prove to you that we can build and sell an app completely from scratch as complete beginners with no coding experience and still be successful. Now, to start this process that will make us millionaires, the first step is the app idea. Now, lucky for you, the app idea, I already got a really good one. Google recently released their new AI tool, Nano Banana, which is insane. It can take any image and edit it however you want. I've created YouTube thumbnails with this, fun images, and even lived out some of my fantasies. Maybe that was a little bit oversharing. But the real money in this is using Nano Banana to edit an image and then Google Veo 3 to animate it. But why is this a good idea? Well, it's gonna change the ad making industry forever. Our app will make it easy for ad companies to create static ads as well as video ads, all with the click of a button. I mean, we can sell this app to businesses, creators, designers. The whole world is our playground. With our app idea in mind, it's time to build it. Let's do this. Okay, so to build a really good app with Lovable, one of the best things you can do is just actually give a sample image. So that's what I'm gonna do. Is I found this sample image off of Google Images, and what I would do is search up cool UIs for creating images, and just look at different dashboards, find something you like. I found, honestly, this is pretty cool too, actually. A lot of different cool images, but this one right here is the one that I thought was the coolest one. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna say, we are building a tool called Nano Ads. Is that cool? That allows people to provide a sample image URL, and the app will create variations of the sample image. That makes sense, right? So now we have to tell Lovable to create the UI exactly like this image, or at least do the best part. And we'll give some changes to make it our own. So this is a prompt that I gave it. The objective, the task, as well as the styling. We're gonna see what it whips up. This is obviously very bare bones, not too in depth, but our app is also pretty creative, right? It's pretty simple, I mean. Here, let's send it. And let's look at what exactly it cooks up. Now, as the UI is being built, we have to remember how exactly do we want our app to work? Well, the front end is gonna be Lovable and the back end will be end-to-end. So what we're gonna be doing is we are going to have our front end take in an image URL, as well as any special user request. We'll send that information to end-to-end, which is our back end. And end-to-end will use Nano Banana and Veo 3 to create a variation of the sample image and animate the sample image to turn into an ad, and then it'll send that back to the front end and we'll display the final creative or the final ad on our front end. So that's the flow that we're working with. And yes, we are building the UI first because with UIs, you can create landing pages and add screenshots. You can start marketing the app before you actually build it. And that's one of the best things you can ever do. Looks like it's done. Wow. Wait, look at that. It's literally almost the exact same as our sample image. We have the dashboard. Wow, total images, downloads. Good now. Okay, popular tags, settings, profile settings. Wow, this is actually really, really cool. All right, so we're probably not gonna be using all these tabs and we can definitely condense our app, but the main thing we focus on is the create tab, right? Sample image URL, how you want the variation to look, and generate variations. This is what matters. And then we can, does it work? No? Okay, that makes sense, right? Yeah. All right, so this is what we're working with. It's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, I think we can tell to trim down, let's say, take out the tool section and the tabs under it. All right, so once that's taken out, we pretty much finish our UI like that quick. That is actually, that's the power of AI. Like you can build apps within just like 5 minutes. All right, so now we're gonna get into building the backend. All right, so now we're going to create the backend of our app. Now, the first thing we have to keep in mind is the way we are going to trigger our backend from the front end is by doing a webhook. So we're gonna use this trigger. We're just gonna pass in this URL into our front end, and we're going to also let it know to give us the image URL that the person's entering, as well as a variation description. So when the user enters this image URL and this text right here, we're going to be getting that data in our webhook. So we're basically letting the Lovable know to send the image URL as well as the variation text into our backend of N8N. So we're gonna have to wait for that to be done, but let's pretend it is done. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna have to analyze the image. Okay, and we use any model. I use for latest. Make sure you have your OpenAI account connected. So this is mine right here. If you don't have one, just click edit. You enter your API key, and it should be good. Okay. All right. So for the image URL, is Lovable done? Okay, so still working. So we are going to get the image URL from the webhook, right? So I believe we can do something like JSON.image URL. I think this would work once you get the webhook. If not, what you can do is you can always just pass in this image right here. This is like an image of a soda bottle, you know, that we have. So we use that. We can just use this for now. And the text input, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say analyze the product or character in the image, right? Because that's what we want to focus on. So we're also gonna add a little bit more. And what we're gonna be doing is basically letting our system know to add the brand name of the product, you know, if there's a product, right? And if it's of a character, this is a character name. Looks like, let me get some text. And then return the YAML. This prompt I did get from a school community, but I'll also have this prompt in the description below. So you can, you know, get this for free and use this for yourself. Okay. So that's the image URL. I believe. All right. So it looks like everything is done here. So we're going to be doing, we can try this out now. Make it a snowy environment. Yeah. Click generate variations. Okay. So first you need to execute the workflow. And then we click generate variations. And look at that. It was triggered. So it was triggered successfully. And in the body, we have image URL. All right, so the body looks a little weird. Yeah, like this is kind of hard to read, right? Pass in the image URL as an easy retrievable attribute called image URL. For variation text, call it user request. Make it format this as JSON, a readable JSON when sending the information in the body. Because right now, I mean, it's kind of hard for our tool to understand what it needs to be doing. But what we can do, since we have this hard code anyways, we can just click execute step. And we have the image, right? So a classic Coca-Cola glass bottle filled with dark soda, prominently displaying the white Coca-Cola logo cursive script across the center label. That was insanely horrible English. But we have our content, right? So the analysis, right? How do you say that? Is good, right? It was able to analyze what we needed. All right, that's what matters. So now we're going to add the AI agent. This AI agent is what's really going to create the ad copy, right? We have this image and we want to generate a ad for it, right? But based on the user's request and whatever, a couple other things. So this is going to copy this from here. But in our case, we're only doing one separate image, and we can delete that as well. Delete this example. And we have user special request. So the user special request will be we're gonna pass that in, right? That's what this field is for. Yeah. Right now we will just hard code that. Just put the value right there. This should be good. All right. Now we're creating one image prompt as guided by system guidelines. Now, what are the system guidelines? Well, system guidelines, we don't have any. So let's add it. And again, this is accounting for multiple images. We don't need all that. Create exactly one image ad prompt. So system personalities, your image ad prompt generator. The task is create one image ad prompt. The final prompt should look like this. All right. And the output count, just do 1. Don't need a separator. Don't need this example either. And yeah, we're good. Now, certain things like text watermark and text watermark location, you probably don't need. That is a little overboard, but we will keep that in for now. That's our system personality. Chat model. It's OpenAI 4.1 mini is fine. A tool, think tool. This just makes sure that our AI agent actually thinks about what it wrote, right? And then for output format, structured output parser, we can say image prompt. It's not gonna be ad prompt, right? And we'll copy this right here. All right, so that's the image prompt. So we have pretty much everything right here. Let's save this. And we can exit run it. Make an image ad for this product, the following elements, the product's exact custom reference image. So look at that. It's create a pretty cool ad prompt. Nice. This is pretty cool. We have exactly what we need, right? All right, cool. So the next part is we are going to sanitize our output. Now, what this means is, so if you look at this, right, we see these /ns and these line breaks. And when you have that in your JSON, what can happen is when we send this to Google's Nano Banana, we can face some issues, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to sanitize the JSON. So we do that is we're just going to paste this right here. And it's image prompt. So this would do is if you execute step, do notice how those /ns are no longer here, and it's just one long piece of text, right? So it's pretty. It's literally pretty. It's you can read it. So now comes the magic. Now we are going to make a HTTP request to Open Router. So for Open Router, do a post request. You want to do predefined credential type. You want to select Open Router. I already have an Open Router account. If you do not, you have to make one. But you go Open Router 2.5 flash image preview. This is the official name for Nano Banana. You go to API. You create your API key. So we just N8 and ads. All right. I mean, I already have one here. So you just paste your API key in there. Now look at the URL. So we go back, go on curl. The URL is right here. And it's a post request, I believe. Okay, you're sending data. You want to do send body and then, oops, JSON. You can just copy this from there, paste that. Okay, so now this is a user special request. No, sorry, this is that. And URL, we can hard code it since we've been doing that already. As where's the soda bottle? The soda bottle. So there you go. All right, show data. There you go. We have our image right here. All right, perfect. So now what? But what we would do is do respond to webhook. So basically we're gonna send back the image URL to our front end, right? So we're gonna say image final add creative, and we're gonna pass in that URL. Real quick, just to see how it looks like. Just copy this, paste that. All right, so we have half an image. The reason is because it's like this start, and usually Google can't display the full image for whatever reason. So here, we're just do that, and yeah, it's pretty long. All right, so with our entire flow, for the most part, done, I believe. We have to, well, first I click this and to respond using respond to webhook node. And now we have to like make sure it actually returns. Okay. Let's make sure that here. Wait, stop right here. Okay, why is the body still ugly? So you see right here, what I did was the data is being sent in the body is poor. It should be like this. Then I reformatted it, right? And then I said make it like this. Right now it's being passed as right here, which is not good. So now we're looking for, also I'm telling it that our webhook will respond with this. So please be prepared, right? You always want to let the AI know how the data that's getting back will look like. Maybe give an example so you can understand better. And that's allow the image to be downloadable as well, right? Because obviously you want the user to be able to download the image that's created. So now we're gonna click enter and we're gonna let it go. All right, so it looks like it was done. Pretty quick if you ask me. Make it a snowy land. All right, so let's just delete this for now. Listen for test event. Here. Okay, I was gonna crash out. I thought that it did the same thing again, but see now it's properly formatted. So now we're gonna do so image URL and user request, right? So here's what we're gonna do. So URL, originally we were passing in manually. Now we can just do image URL right there. Right here. That's the user request. And then leave that the way it is. This also, the image URL, we're going to pass in right here. All right, cool. So now that's all fixed. See, workflow is waiting for the test URL. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run it, baby. Oh, messed up. Yeah. Now let's run it. All right, so it's running. Let's see. Workflow execute successfully. I'm scared to look, man. I'm actually scared to look. Oh my God, we got it. We got it, boys and girls. The image is right here. It is right here. It is, and we can download it. Oh my goodness gracious, the third. I mean, come on. Come on, everyone. Are we not super cool people right now? Do we not feel like we're the coolest people in the world? We downloaded it. Yes, this is literally a great MVP of using Nano Banana. You can honestly sell this, start selling this if you want to as like your base app. Wow, that's just so cool, man. That is so cool. Now, so one thing we're gonna say is make the container for the image. This image is kind of small. Obviously, like the real version is much bigger, but we should display the real version here, right? Remove the other placeholder images. We're gonna basically tell our tool to let the image be just bigger and remove this placeholder images. So that's fine. That works. We're doing good. We're doing actually really good. Now, the question is, we know this works, right? And what we'd like to do is like do nano add final. This means that it's fully done. The next step though is how can we get it so it actually animates, right? What we can do is have an animate button under the image, and when we click animate, when we click animate, that image will be sent to N8N via a webhook, and it's going to trigger a separate flow that uses Google Veil 3 to actually animate. So this is like a second part of what we're doing. So now it's the second part of what we're doing. So we already have our Nano Banana working, so we don't really have to worry about that. What we do have to worry about is FAO. FAO is a tool that will allow us to use Google Veil 3 and generate animations for our image. See right here, what I did was I asked Lovable, hey, I want to add an animate button under each created images that sends the image via N8N webhook to N8N flow. Can you tell me how you expect to send the image to N8N? I was curious to what its plan was. So it told me that this is exactly what it's going to do. Process directly. So it's going to send this exact URL that we got from Nano Banana, which is great. It's honestly all we need. All right. And then we're going to convert it to like a file. We'll send it. So we'll do all that. Okay. So I made a new flow called Nano Animate. And this is going to be another on webhook call. It just be trigger manual for now. Eventually it will be a webhook, obviously, but for now, we'll just do trigger manual. So what we want to do is we want to send an HTTP request. Actually, we're going to have to do convert to files. So we're going to do convert to So the base 64 string is all right, do we have it saved anywhere? No, we don't. Well, that sucks. Essentially, that weird data 64 string will pass into here and output the data file. So, I wish you had like a, here, I have an idea. You have to do set it. Let's say, all right. So that should be set now, right? Here, let's actually call this base. Let's call this base. There we go. And now we can actually view the image. Well, we can't actually view it, but if you download it, it will be the image that we're looking at, that we care about. Okay. So we have the image now. So now we're going to use File API to actually do image to video. So do video 3. There you go. So this literally tells you how to use it. So go API. Do curl. So this is a URL right here. HTTP request. It's a post. So you're gonna put in the authorization, the data. This is text to video. Hold up, image to video. So it's asking for image URL. That's interesting. If there's, oh wait, no. We can just pass the regular image URL. Oh, in that case, we might not even need to convert to base 64 to a file. Here, we can actually test this out pretty nicely. Just copy the URL. And now we need authorization key. So all right, so we need a file API key. So to create your API key, what you can do, just should be able to go on account, you go on API keys, and then you can create your key. So I input my API key right here. I believe everything else should be good. So now we got to send a body, and we can say JSON. And that's the prompt. So for prompt right now, we can say whatever, to be honest. So right here, edit fields, right? We can just pass in base. Yeah. So we don't have to, care about the whole conversion aspect, which is great. Saves us some time. Yeah. And we're gonna have to do is after this, we have to wait, because Google Video 3 does take some a little bit of time. So I'd say wait 120 seconds, about 2 minutes is good. Maybe 150 just to be sure. All right, so let's just run this. All right, so it's in the queue. So now it's gonna wait about 3 minutes. Right? So while that's waiting, let's copy this request ID. And then what we need to do is we're gonna have to get the image. So right, copy this. Let's make an HTTP request. So the request ID is right here. That's request ID. Then it needs authorization. What the, I think there's like a bug that came out of nowhere. Authorization, key, and then what was my key? Was it this one or this one? I believe this one, right? Yeah. Okay. So once that's done waiting, what we're gonna do is we're gonna send the key. Yeah, I believe that's all we need to do. So this should work, honestly. So let's just wait for this to be finished. In the meantime, let's look at this. We can say, yeah, implement. So we'll have our UI at this. All right. So we waited long enough. Now we're gonna execute the step. That didn't work. Let's wait a little bit longer, maybe. Let's wait a little bit longer. So that takes some time, right? Failed to load the image. Oh, I see. So we passed in the image URL, right? But it failed to load it. Could be because maybe it's too large. It says right here as a file input. All right. So N8N or ChatGPT is telling us that it should work. Our image is not that big. Huh. What we can do is maybe try running this again. So I've made some changes and I think we got it. So let me recap. Basically, the reason it wasn't working was because it had that database 64 starter earlier, right? So what I took out the beginning part and just kept what came after the comma. So usually it starts with like, do you have an example? Let's see. Like it starts with like this, right? This comma, everything after it I kept. Everything before it I took out. And then I just converted it from base to data, which we were doing anyways. And then I upload to S3 bucket. See what was the thing is the image has to be uploaded to some platform that can host the image. So I just decided to add it to my S3 bucket. Now, real quick, to do this, you have to open an AWS account. So you can just go on like AWS. You create an account, whatever, right? Sign into your console. And then what you do is you just click S3. I have a bucket. So if you don't have a bucket, create a bucket. Give it the name test bucket. Do ACLs enabled. Turn that off. And that should be good. Then you create your bucket. Test bucket prod. All right, let's do add nano bucket jiggly poo. Yeah, let's see if that exists. All right, acknowledge that. All right, so bucket's created, and now what you do is you simply go N8N and you click upload file. Give the bucket name. So my bucket name is add creator prod. Now the file name. The file name has to be more dynamic. Right now, I'm just hard coding, add a viral final, but that's not really what you want to do. You want to give some unique name, because when you upload multiple images, they all can't have the same exact name, right? And make sure to do ACL public read write in the additional field. So do that. And then what that will do when you upload the file, it's gonna just add this. It's gonna upload the image right here, right? So now it's publicly accessible, which is what we care about. Boom, baby. Boom. Look at that. Right? And now we pass in the JSON out location right here. The prompt we can keep. And now we can get our amazing video. So let's run it right here. Oh my God. Starting from the top, I guess. See how I have to change this every time now? That's gonna be really annoying. So you don't want to do that. Up here, let's see what the final result is. Okay, well. We're gonna see what the final result is of the video. And I put like a 3-second, like a, what is this? Like a almost 3 minute, 2.5 minute pause. So we're gonna see what our final video looks like. And then we're gonna send that video back to our UI. All right, so one thing I did was I hard coded the ID, which is not good. Passing it that way. Then we run this. No, I don't run it again. Oh my gosh, it's gonna run it again, isn't it? Oh wait. No, it's gonna run it again. All right, so we have got our generated video. It is time to see what Veil 3 has created. Extraordinary. So we're gonna pass him the video URL and make it respond to the webhook. The video URL. Actually, things it can't wait that long. That's the only thing. A webhook can never wait for that long. So the thing is, our flow will time out by the time the video is ready. So we're gonna take the time to be like 70 seconds. And I hope that is done by then. And then we're gonna pass in the URL. And over here, we're gonna delete this and do on webhook call. Post. Just copy this. All right, so now what you have to do is you have to remove the anyden webhook URL input and have this be the in the body of this. Make sure to send the image URL of the created images, but split it. So here, let's say basically everything before the comma, including the comma, should be taken out. That's good, right? The webhook should be fired when someone clicks animate button. Nice. I believe we can add this and it should make the changes we need, and then we can really test to make sure everything is working, which would be pretty crazy. All right, so we got an error. One thing we need to say is the response from the webhook once animate is called will take about 80 seconds. That's one thing. Also, the JSON return will have attribute. What was the attribute that we gave it? I believe it was video URL, which contains a URL such as, let's give an example URL as well. Display the video with download option. Oh, are we gonna say display the video with download option if possible, or just add the URL in a text input into a text field. The user can copy the URL if they want. All right, so this should be the final step. All right, so looks like everything is added. Can we add this sample image? That should be good. Yep. The animate. Let's see if it allows to do this. All right, cool. So we have this as a placeholder. All right, perfecto. This is SD workflow. Click animate. But that didn't work. Hey, it worked this time. All right. So the image URL. Can we replace the sample image with this image? Let's see. Oh my God. All right. So the image URL was working, which is good. All right. So now we have the image URL right here, which is great. We connect it to edit fields. What we gotta do is take that all out and put image URL in there. And then convert that to file. That works. Upload file, generate VO3 video. Generate the VO3 video. That's good. All right, I think everything is good. We usually make sure that it works end to end, right? So let's click save. If the image starts with how will the URL be sent when user clicks animate button? So what I'm doing here is I'm just making sure that it's removing that with everything before the comma if it does start with this. Because we use an example of this, right? This is not what we're really sending. We're sending things that look like this, right? So we have to test that. Okay, so it looks like everything is working. Then we're good to do a final end-to-end test. Make sure it all works. Here we go. Wow, I am kind of scared. Make a snowy environment. All we can do for this is we actually have to do the production one now. Make this active. Production URL, copy that. We're gonna tell the lovable to switch. All right, so we're gonna switch that out. And we also have to switch out the production URL for nano animate. Actually, we keep this for test for. We can use that as test for now. We don't know if this works yet, right? So now we can do when things are in production, right? So we can't really see like the nodes fire, beginning to like end. So what you have to do is you go to executions, because production. So now you can see right here it's running, and we just wait until we get this image to pop up in our lovable right here. Ideally, if it breaks, then we're doomed. But I think it should be good. Well, there we go. Ignite your thirst, baby. Now we try the next part. Succeeded, right? So we do execute workflow. Click animate. Oh, why did it fail? So it's weird because I clicked animate here and it started working. It looks like this. I guess every new animate button doesn't hit the same URL when it should. We just specified that, but now it's working. Now it's running at least. So now we wait until the video is shown. Now you might be wondering, Ritesh, what happened? It's dark outside. I thought we were still working together. Yes, we are. Just had to lock in for a bit. Our app's core functionality from generating the image to animating it is finally done. I'm going to show you exactly how. Welcome, everyone. So here is our core product. As you can see, I imported the image URL, told it to make a snowy landscape. It created our image. And watch this. Can you guys hear this? I don't know if you guys heard that, but it creates the final video that a user can, with the download button right there. So if I were to open right here, boom, I have the full ad. Look at that snow falling. Look at that. Boom, snow fell in the Coke bottle. Oh my God, we are about to become millionaires. So the core feature is done now. All right, we have the created image and we have a generated video. So our app is working. Now, what did I change on the anime section? Again, recapping, this is nothing changed there. The upload file, what I did was I put in the image ID as part of the naming. This way, each time someone uploads an image into our S3 bucket, it is unique because we can't have any of the same file. And then, I mean, this is pretty straightforward, right? You pass in the JSON location and everything works pretty smoothly, honestly. It's pretty smooth from there. So now what we're gonna do is the next step, and that is we have to add user authentication. So this way people can actually log in to our app, right? So let's do that. Great work. We also need to add, actually, let's just do the account login for now. And what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to open Supabase. All right, so we are now on Supabase. We have a project, let's call it Nano Ads. Create our new project. All right, so our new project ready. So connect a project, Agent Rise, Nano Ads. All right, so we are now connected. So it says follow instructions in the chat. So now Lovable can integrate with Supabase very effectively, so we can just let it handle the rest. Yeah, set up authentication for user login. All right, look at that. We now have a login system. I believe, it's still working. Okay, so we gotta wait. Fast test under development. No, we want confirm email. We don't want random people. Actually, okay, fine. Let's go authentication. Policy, sign providers. Just confirm email, save changes. All right. All right, cool. So now if I were to sign up, it should not work. I haven't made an account yet. So I'm really trying to sign in, right? Yeah. Okay. Sign up. There you go. I'm in. Check the email to confirm your account. Okay, we don't care about that, to be honest. All right, so I'm in. If I sign out, okay, nice. And I can sign back in, I believe. Or am I looking up? Super easy. Look at that. With just a simple prompt, our authentication database is set up. It's actually that easy. That's what I'm saying. It's so easy to do all this. Okay, now let's add payment handling via Stripe. So for this, I'm going to have to create a Stripe product, I believe. All right, so we are setting up our Stripe nano ads. Okay. We have to switch a live account. So for services, we're going to say, no, it's not downloadable, right? Okay, maybe it's downloadable, I guess. Client contribution. Here, after we made $1 million, we'll start donating to the climate. All right, so we're on a live account, so we should be able to accept payments now. We have our API keys as well. Nice. Okay, so what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna pass our API key into Lovable, so that we can integrate with into Stripe. Okay. This is a pretty bad response because this is a pretty bad prompt because I didn't really specify how exactly we're gonna handle payment. Like, how are you supposed to be paying? You know, things like that. So let me actually stop it. The user has to have 1 credit to animate video as it takes here. It takes, let's do this. Here is the payment detail. So we're gonna say user, or it takes 1 credit to animate a video. Then we will say generate variations is free, right? But it takes 1 credit to animate a video. User must pay for credits. 1 credit equals $2. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah. Let's do that. So now Lovable should set up our entire Stripe and ideally be able to integrate the payments into our tool, our app very nicely, right? All right, so as for our Stripe secret key, okay, do not look, everyone. Submit. All right, so now we are good to go. All right, creating a table to track user credits, which is great. We need that because each time a person logs in, we don't want them to start with 0 credits, right? If a user buys 1,000 credits, we want to make sure each time they log in, their credits are saved, which is what this is doing right here. That's great. Okay. All right. So it looks like we have, Lovable has done it for us. All right. That's great. Question is, before testing it, let's clean this up a bit. So I added this prompt to basically clean up everything. We're gonna move this credit bind to the settings page and then take out API settings, take out billing subscription, take out notifications. Don't really need any of that. And we're just gonna remove the premium pack element in bottom left. We're gonna take that out as well. So let's go ahead and make those changes. Just clean up the UI a little bit, make it a little smoother, right? And then we can test to make sure buy credits is working. Holy, what on earth? It just changed everything mad quick, but I'm not complaining. I like this. I like this. I like this. So you can purchase credit just like that. I like this. Payments are processed, secured through Stripe. Perfect. Okay. Well, this is good. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we are gonna actually test this out, and I'm kind of scared. I feel like this might not work. So it's 5 credits at $10. We'll get this plan because we're broke. Okay, let's see. Oh my God. Oh, buddy. Okay, so available credits is there. We had this crazy error bottom right, but we do have an error. Oh, that is fixed. I mean, okay. Now let's take it from the top. All right, so we have our created image. Now we're gonna click animate. Okay, so we have to still trigger our end-to-end animate flow because we're not using production URL yet. We do have to switch this to the production URL as well. So that's one thing we gotta remind ourselves. Change the end webhook URL when clicking animate button to the following. All right, we gotta wait for this to run. Here, so we make sure that is changed to the following. Okay. Change only. Do not change the URL for the webhook when clicking generate variations. All right, so that should be good. That's done. Trying to think what else kind of messed up, and that weird error in the bottom right messed up. So we did get an error, and the reason is basically we asked for the video, if the video is ready, too early. So we need to wait a little longer than 80 seconds sometimes. So we'll push it to 90 seconds. So I'll make that change on the end side. So let's make this active. Here, that's fine. We'll wait 90 seconds. Let's wait 85 seconds. Okay, save this. And we're going to make this production. Here, so let's open up this one again. Activate it, got it. And then production. This is the correct one, right? Yep. So let's enter that. But before we do that, let's see if we want anything else to be changed. Oh yeah, so let's make sure that also make sure each time user generates a video successfully, the credits are deducted by 1. That is displayed to the user clearly. We have to make sure that the credit system is working properly. Also make sure the user does not have more then 0 credits. Also make sure that the user only has 0 credits. They cannot upload, they cannot generate another video. They cannot animate another image. Let's do that. So we'll make those changes. I believe that should help a lot. Oh, we did get the payment. It came in $9.41. Look at that. We're making money. We're making money. Oh yeah, we're making money. Oh yeah. All right, so we're making some good steps. Look at that. $10 day one. So obviously it's me, right? It's testing, so it doesn't really count. But cool. All right, so it looks like everything's updated. Perfecto. So let's look in the available credits. It's still 5, however. Okay, let's do that again. Make a lava environment. There you go. That says animate 1 credit, right? So let's click animate. So let it animate. And now we're going to switch to nano animate. Click executions. This one's running right here. You can see this past one that was running for nano add. The only reason our app can mess up is if the video is not done being created within 85 seconds, because that is the time we put it to. We can up it, obviously, but we can only up it so much because a request from the front end to the back end cannot hang for so long, So we just gotta pray that it's fast. Please be fast. We are using the VO3 fast model, so it should be like fast. Okay. Looks like everything worked. So if I flip to the lovable UI, I better see it all beautiful and amazing and dragons, breathing fire, Game of Thrones stuff. Let me go ahead and share that. Oh yeah, we got the video. Let's go. Ooh, that's your third way. Coca-Cola. I'm gonna download this. I'm gonna download that. That's actually really cool. Yeah, so we're gonna keep that for later for the promotional videos. With that being said, go on settings. Available credits for. Thank God it deducted 2. Let's go! It worked. We got user authentication. We got payment processing. We got everything working on like the actual app itself. We're done. We are done. Now we just gotta market and blow this up to $1 gazillion. Okay, so let's do that. Now we enter the marketing phase of our app. But the first thing we have to do is make sure our landing page actually shows off our app. So I went ahead and used Lovable to create the following landing page. Pretty cool. I mean, I provided some sample images from our previous runs of testing the app. So it's kind of like we're using our own app's production to advertise itself, which is kind of like the Matrix. But the real problem is, how do we get eyeballs on our app? Because we only have 24 hours to make millions of dollars with it. Here's the master plan. My plan is to make a post on X communities, LinkedIn, and a post on Instagram. Now, X and LinkedIn will be a written post, but for Instagram, I have a very special post plan. And this post is so special that anyone, no matter how many followers you have, can make this type of post. And it can get a lot of views. So this big trend on Instagram is creating reels where the top half is of the person and the bottom half is a video of some sort, showing off an automation or some sort of AI SaaS. So see right here, I did one right here, 5,000 views, 3.3K views, 4.1K views, 6.9K views. Check this out. So this video got 10.6K views, and watch this. This is exactly how I grew one of my SaaSes, and this reel got 10.6K views. So I brought a good amount of users to my app, right? So we can create, and look, this isn't the only one. This got 108,000 views. This got 32K views. This got 18K view. This got 2.4 million views. So this is absolutely nuts. So if I can create another reel that's like this, but kind of mix in this style right here, where this creator I know, I see, like that's a great hook, right? Where you're able to show the product in action. So I can combine that with like this style. I'm sure I can make a good reel that can go viral or semi-viral and can bring in a lot of traffic, and a lot of users, right? So that's the goal of this. Now, to do that, we're gonna have to write a script. All right, so we're gonna show Coke bottle lava video in bottom half. Hot. Okay, so everyone comments down hot. We're gonna set up an automation that will automatically reply to them, and yeah, it'll automatically reply to them with the link of our app. So this is our script for our reel. This should be like about 20 seconds long, which is pretty good. Okay, that's a better hook than what we had before. So with this, we should be able to. Yeah, this is a good video to make. So now we have to actually sit in front of the camera and record this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But before we do that, let's do one more thing, and that will be to write a X and LinkedIn post. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just post our first video right now. Because why not? We're live. Say I created this ad with my new, we are going to drop the link of our tool, post this, and we will post this in a community. Build in public's a good one because it has a lot of people, right? And it's a lot of impressions. Let's post that. There, it's posted. All right, that's our first official advertisement is now out in the public, which is, hey, that's great. Now we're gonna move to LinkedIn. I made this yeah, again, and real quick, let's just make sure. Yeah, we'll post this. All right. Another post is live. Upload complete. Okay, we got X down, we got LinkedIn down. So now it's back to the holy grail, which is Instagram reel. So let's go and create this reel. Before I show you all the final product, this is a timeline for the edits. There's not many edits going on. I'm here showing this just because I want you all to know that you can edit these reels. They're very simple. You literally have one screen recording, and then you have the raw footage, and then you add auto captions that is supported in Instagram, CapCut, and a bunch of other editing softwares. Trust me, you can do it. Do not think you can't. Now for the final product. Pretty sick. And now what we're gonna do is I have this reel on my phone. What I'm gonna do is use the Edits app because I heard that gives your Instagram reel more reach. I'm gonna upload that on to Instagram in the morning, as it's literally 12:24 a.m. right now. And once that's up, I'm going to add an automation that will automatically DM anyone who comments the word hot, the link to the app, and we're just gonna let the money pour in. See you all in the morning. Hey, it's the next day, nice early in the morning. So what we're gonna do is we're now going to post our Instagram reel that we made yesterday, and we're gonna hope it goes viral. So let me go ahead and open the Edits app on my phone. I already have it as a draft, just export it. I should go to Instagram. Should be in the drafts. Yeah, there it is. Just click it. All right, I think I'm good. Comment hot if you want access to this private AI tool for free. I think that's pretty good. No audio. Sometimes I feel like the audio, you don't put a good audio, the reel doesn't really get views. But if you do put a good audio, the reel does get views. So I don't know. Some of my most successful reels have absolutely no music, so I'm just gonna stick with that. All right, so yeah, we're about to go live at 3, 2, 1. We have posted, everyone. We have posted. It's uploading. So now what we're gonna have to do is while that uploads. Okay, it's up. Step 1, find any image on Google Images, copy the address. All right, we're good. So now what we're gonna be doing is going to ManyChat, which is a great tool to automate your replies to your Instagram comments or DMs. Click New Automation. Do start from scratch, and then we're gonna click New Trigger, user commentary and post a reel, select the latest one, continue, hot, continue, we say check your DMs, send in the DMs, and then hit your DMs there. So that's done. Then we click. Now you actually send the reply. So we say, hey, what's up? To use this free tool, click the link down below. To use this private tool. And then we're just gonna pass in the link. Let's put the emoji. Yeah, and then we should be good. That's really all we need to do, right? Set this live, and our automation is live. So now let me go ahead and check our LinkedIn, see how the post was doing yesterday. I did reply to one comment earlier today. I thought it was kind of nice. So let's go right here. See, we have 2 comments. One, this guy said, now I'm curious how it look with blue. I commented, I just sent him a picture of the Coca-Cola in like a blue landscape 7 minutes ago, right? Just pretty fire if you ask me. And then our X post, it's not doing too hot. I'll be honest. X post has 68 views, but it does have 6 hearts. So it's, it's something. It's something, right? But hey, let's see what the rest of the day takes us. So let's check back near the middle to end of the day and see how many people are actually signed up. And did we make millions of dollars or did we make only $3? Let's see. So it's the end of the day and we are going to check how much money we've made. I am pretty excited. So I did get some notifications, to be honest, on my phone when Stripe payments came through. So I kind of already know how much we made, but just show you guys, pull up my Stripe right here. So full transparency, I did purchase this twice, right? One was on testing and then I tested again a little bit later today, which is why you see my name right here. We did get 3 other payments though, from Julio, Arjun, and Komal. So, I mean, that's something, right? Our reel actually didn't do too well. We only got like under 2,000 views, which is kind of unexpected. I really thought we'd get tens of thousands of views, but we didn't. Excellent LinkedIn posts were kind of subpar, but I can only imagine if I started creating more reels about this and I got like 10K views, I can definitely grow this from 3 users to like maybe 30. I see the vision. So I'm gonna keep working on this product, try to make it better, and you guys should too. That was intense. In that video, I used Lovable and Edit to create a full stack app. Now, this is a very important concept. Being able to tie different AI tools together can create entire systems that can lead to very powerful applications, which lead to a lot of money when you sell them. See, this is how you stand out in this AI space. These simple AI agents or end-to-end workflows that you build, you can sell for a couple hundred or even a couple $1,000s, but I'm pretty sure you'd rather be the person who lands a $30,000 deal like my student Shubham, or my other student Ron, who landed a $25,000 deal. And the way you do that is by building complex automation systems and architectures. In this next video, I'm going to create an AI and web agent system that's worth multi 4 figures. Watch closely as I build the first ever AI and web agent system that has been featured on the internet. Yes, this has never been done before, even by the top figures in this industry. Most likely because they're too lazy to even code a little bit. In this video, I will show you step by step how to build and sell an AI AI plus web agent system that you can sell to clients for $5, $10, $15,000 literally today. So get yourself ready because this next hour will be life-changing. We will start by building a web agent that can buy rare items from one of the most popular stores, PopMart. There's an insane amount of interest with clients willing to pay thousands of dollars to get their hands on their favorite collectibles featured on PopMart. Then we will create an AI marketing system that will find and contact toy shops that sell these rare collectibles. By these toy shops having our web agent, they can get more collectibles for their store, which means more people will come to the store to buy these collectibles, hence increasing the store's revenue. And if we're increasing the store's revenue, I mean, which company wouldn't pay you $5,000 one time if that means they can increase their revenue by $2,000 every month? It's a no-brainer. I mean, duh. And then I will show you a 5-minute marketing hack that you can do to get a client before you go to sleep tonight. And for those who watch this video fully, I will show you 3 different ways this system can earn you money. Yes, 3 different ways. So let's get started. Before we get started, you do not need any coding experience to build any of these systems. Just follow along. All right, so we are going to be using AI for literally everything to create this entire system. So there will be some very low code that we will manually write, but we're going to be using Cursor, which is an AI code editor that will do most of the work for us. So head over to the website, download either the Mac or Windows version, whichever laptop or system you're using, and use a free plan. No need to pay. Download Node.js as well. And again, whatever device you're using, just download for the appropriate device. And once you have that done, go ahead and make a folder on your desktop and make a file called popmart_agent.js. So see this folder? I made this on my desktop. Just add the file popmart.js in there and then open that folder in Cursor. So you do file, open folder, and then you go on your desktop and whatever folder you made, right? You just open that up. So I have this file called popmart_agent.js. And now what I have to do is do npm install, okay? Do npm init, press enter. If npm did not work before, now it should work. If you do npm install, now it should definitely work, okay? And now you have to do npm install puppeteer. I know this is so boring, but trust me, this is the only boring part about this. Once you have that installed, now you just click up arrow and do npm install puppeteer extra. And the last one, I promise, npm install puppeteer extra plugin stealth. Okay, so now that you have everything absolutely installed, what you do now is click your cursor, do Command I or Control I, really depends on whatever device you use. Make sure you're in agent mode. So now we're just type in puppeteer and look at that, click tab. And it already auto-completed for us. And now click tab again. It already started auto-completing for us. But over here, we're gonna do extra and then tab again. And now automatically using stealth for us. So just like that, we've already wrote 13 lines of code. Okay. One thing we're gonna change is we're gonna say async function run. So we're just making a function. We're changing the syntax a bit. So make sure your code looks like this. Again, we've only written 12 lines of code. This is going to be a low code tool. You see right here, we are going directly to popmart.com. You can take out these 2 lines of code right here. Don't need them. And we are going to just call this function using run. So if we do node popmart, so if we do this, let's open up my other desktop. So look at that. So the code, open up a browser and go directly to this website, and that's it. You know, obviously we can interact with it and do whatever we want to do, but that's it for now. So the next step is we want to buy an item off PopMart. So let's look at the characters. Monsters. Are these Labubus, by the way? I know Labubus are very popular. Okay, so out of stock. This is new. So we're gonna copy this URL and we're gonna say const URL equals, so that's our URL variable we have created. And now we're doing page.go to URL. So we're passing that variable. Now, the question is, if we want to, let's say, buy this. Oh, so it's actually out of stock. Okay, well, guess you got to find a new item. Okay, so this is available. So we're switch the variable's value to this. Okay, so if you want to add this item, what do we have to do? We're gonna click add to bag. We're gonna click continue shopping, or no, view bag. Then we're gonna click checkout. Yeah, so you're gonna have to log in. So one of the things you want to do when you're building any web system, if it requires a login of any sort, always do login first. This is how you're going to create the best web agents possible. So we're going to do login first. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, The login step can be automated, right? But what I like to say is, why automate something like login when it takes like 2 seconds to do manually, right? So let's go to the login page, which is right here. So we'll say const, this is product URL, and we'll do another URL called login URL, which should be this. Let's do single quotes for that. So now what it's going to do is going to go to the login URL. So now do Control C to close that window. And now we run this code again. See this pop up. Okay, so it took us directly to the login page. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let the user take control. This is like a human in the loop. The user will take control and log into their account. In order to do that, how can we make it so the user takes control, and when they're done logging in, they can tell the web agent, hey, keep on, automating. There's something called read line, which we're gonna be utilizing. So we're gonna say, or after, use the read line library. This is a very famous library that is super good when it comes to just pausing your agent and letting the user take control, a human in the loop, until they enter something in the terminal, which is like the command center, to let the agent know, hey, you can continue. So click enter, and we look at that. It did everything for us, just like that. So after we wait for user input, we're just gonna do await page.go to product URL. See? This did most of the work for us. And now let's run this again. Here, we'll minimize this. To do up arrow, enter. This might not work first time. So you see right here, login page loaded, enter, press enter to continue. We're not gonna press enter yet. We're gonna log in manually. Okay, and then we can just enter our email address. Honestly forgot. I definitely forgot my email. My passcode for PopMart. All right, so now I have to open my email. You see right here, got the code. I entered the code. All right, so my account is now created. Cool. So yeah, okay, I'll say enter, and now it's gonna continue. It's gonna do the rest of the work by itself. And now at this point, we want the agent to keep on automating. We never will ever participate in the loop ever again. We only have the human in the loop in the beginning for login. So now what do we have to do? We have to, what I like to call, data collect the selectors. So a selector is like the identifier of an element on the page. So if you open up Chrome DevTools right here, and we will put this at the bottom using this right here. You see this little button right here? You can see all the HTML data of each element. So if we click right here, you can see the exact element, the HTML, and all the code behind it, right? So you see like it's class, its colors, how it's designed, everything. We don't care about all this. Remember, we're not coding geniuses. We just want to keep this very simple and very easy. We're just going to pay attention to the selector. In other words, CSS div class equals, whatever this thing is. We're going to right click. We're going to say copy selector. Okay. And we're going to just have like a comment right here, or do a multi-line comment, add to bag selector. Okay, actually, let's not do copy selector. Let's just do this. Let's say copy element. Okay, add to bag element. All right, that's the element. See this exact element right here? It's right here. We basically just copy this line of code. So after we click add to bag, what's next? The view bag button. Same thing. We're gonna say copy element. Okay, view bag element. All right, we have that. So the view bag takes us to this page, right? So now the checkout element. Same thing, copy element, and we're gonna say different page, right? Copy that, paste that. All right, so now watch this little magic that we're gonna do. Again, Command I to open up this tab, and we're gonna say, I added the elements that need to be clicked in succession to automate the add to cart process of this website. And now, please make sure to use document.query selector. This is a cool little function that JavaScript has that can allow you to click anything on the page, right? Where applicable. Also, make sure to use wait for selector. Honestly, you don't even have to say this. wrappable, and this should be good. Let's say make a separate function, add to cart. All right, so all we did was copy and paste so far. Now we're telling the cursor, the AI, to write this code. And you don't have to use cursor, guys. You can use any code editor and just put this in like ChatGPT or Claude, and it can generate this code for you. You just copy and paste it there. But look at that. Keep all. All right. So you see that it goes to product URL, waits so wait for a timeout is a function that waits 2000 milliseconds. That's 2 seconds. I don't believe wait for timeout is still supported. I think this is old. This is no longer a thing. Is wait for timeout still supported in Puppeteer? Okay, so see, I realized, okay, it is actually outdated. Let's do another way. Instead of wait for a timeout, make a JavaScript promise delay. So promise delays are just another way of delaying your code from running for however many seconds you make it. See? It's a function right here. Keep all. And now this is a much cleaner way. So anytime we want to pause the agent for however many seconds, we will just call the delay function. So see, delay 2000 milliseconds, which is 2 seconds. Delay 3000 milliseconds, which is 3 seconds, and so on. Okay, cool. So just close that up. Hit clear. This new fresh terminal. Node popmart agent.js. All right, we're signed in. Look at this. Cursor will actually memorize certain things about you. Like, hey, use promise-based delay function instead of wait for timeout. If you missed that just now, just hit back in the video and read that little alert that came up. But we logged in, so now we're gonna click enter, and we're gonna see if it's able to add everything to cart and do the magic. Bang, add to the bag. I clicked view bag, hands-free. Oh, okay. So actually, you have to select the item. I didn't realize that. Did not know that was a part of the process. So we're just gonna, now watch the beautiful part about this. Ready? This code it's the same exact code. Look at that. Code is not hard, everyone. It's the exact same code used multiple times. They're just changing literally this word for checkout button, view bag button, add to bag button. Everything's the same, only this has changed, right? This little selector. So we're gonna do, we're using copies the exact same lines of code. Right before it hits the view bag button or the checkout button right here, we're gonna copy, here we're gonna edit attribute. All we're doing is changing this right here. So copy, keep the dot in front, that's it. And then tab, look at that. And we'll rename this to checkbox. Okay, so now, let's also say checkbox clicked, checkbox not found. So everything was literally exactly the same. That's the beautiful part about this. And now this will select all that, and then it'll click checkout, and now we're gonna be on this page. Okay. One thing we can do to make this entire process faster, we have to add a billing address. We don't want to do that. So let's be smart about this, right? We want our agent to be as fast as possible. So we're going to quickly go to our profile, and you can see right here, you can actually add a address. So every time your agent operates on whatever website, in this case, you need a address for, because this website is like a item purchase website, right? So we're just going to add the address. Let me go ahead and do that. This is not my real number, so do not come by me. All right, so we have added our address. Select all, click checkout. See, our address is already added, so we don't have to our agent doesn't have to touch anything around here. All it has to do now is proceed to pay. Okay, so click proceed to pay. And it'll take us, we click credit card, and it says add new credit card. Now I wonder, can we save our credit card beforehand and make this even easier? Well, looks like you can't. Ah, man, that would've been great. All right, well, it's fine. I guess we're gonna have to automate that. No issue. So let's go back and, hey, we have our items. Ah, man. Here. So it's, guys, if you notice, like a lot of this is just manual, right? A lot of this is just finding the information. We're not really coding that much. Like Cursor's doing most of the code for us. It wrote but we've written 113 lines of code so far. And you can delete this. Just like that's basically 100 lines of code we wrote. And we probably wrote only 6 ourselves and Cursor did the rest. So let's do it all manually again. Click add to bag, view bag, select all, checkout. Address is already there. So we need to click the proceed to pay button, right? So you just right click and do inspect. And it should open up the Chrome DevTools right here. So we're gonna copy element. Let's write our comments again. Proceed to pay element. That's done. All right. And then we click that. We're gonna copy this element and say what? Credit card tab element. Whoops, what happened? Oh, it has, so when you copy an element, if it has elements inside of it like this one does, it kind of throws things off, right? So in that case, we'll do edit as HTML and see that first one, we'll just copy that first div is what it's called. We're gonna Command Z this, I'm just gonna paste that. There. Nice and sweet. Click this element, add new credit card. Okay, so now we have to put in credit card information. So they say this one. ARIA label equals, so there's a bunch of different elements we can target, different attributes. So like this is the element. Do you want to target the ID, the data field type, the ARIA label, input mode, max length? What is something that's unique about this element that doesn't have random numbers and letters in it? That's what you want to look when you're trying to find how to target a specific field of a credit card. It says ARIA label card number. This will probably never change, this ARIA label field, right? So we're still going to copy this entire element. And right here, we're going to say details, and we'll say card number element right there. We want to look at expiry date element. So say expiry date, that security code, name on card, name on card. All right, that's done. And then the final pay button. Final pay button. All right. So now that all the information is added, I believe that's it, right? There's not much else to do. One thing you have to do, however, is figure out a fake credit card number. Let's do 5. God dang. So do number. Oh, here we can just copy this. I mean, honestly, right? I mean, we're not trying to write code. We're just trying to have Cursor do it for us. We're trying to have AI do it for us. We're lazy. To use. Switch the name to Ritesh Verma. This is a fake credit card that will not get us charged. All right. So now Command I, open up our little AI agent, paste that in there. So you see right here. These are the next steps. Make sure to wait for each element to be visible and then click the element. If it's a button or a div, if it is an input, so see how these are inputs right here, type in the credit card information, which is given. Remember, we gave the information on the credit card right here, okay? And yeah, wait for each element to be visible and then click the element if it's a button or a div. So we'll click this final pay button. It'll click this pay button, and click this div. Make this a separate function. Also, right here for the, actually, yeah, that's good. That's good. AI is so amazing. It's doing all the work for us. And I'm going to show you guys how to use AI now to find customers for this agent we've built, and we can sell it to them for money. All right, so click keep all. The add to cart function, we know that works, right? And then after the last one, we call this checkout with credit card function, which is then going to call this one right here, right? And it's our card info that I made. So it's gonna wait for the selector to appear. It's gonna proceed to pay button, and then it's gonna click the credit card tab. It's gonna type in this information, and it's gonna click the pay now button. Cool. Hypothetically, everything should work like perfectly, almost. So let's do node popmart. H.js. Okay, well, it kind of stopped working. Starting checkout process for credit card. All right, so we're right here. Okay, so it failed. It could not find that credit card number. This is a very common error, and it stops a lot of web agents. And a lot of people, they mess up right here, but I know exactly why it didn't work. I'm 1,000 million percent sure why it's not working. But first, it did click the checkout button to go to like the credit card page, but see that there's like a pop mart sign that loads first, and once that's done loading, then you can actually click the button. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to just copy this function that the AI wrote for us already and make it just wait like 5 seconds real quick. Okay, so then once the 5-second wait is over, then I'll go ahead and click the checkout button and we should be able to go to the next page. But now the real question is, why on earth didn't it find the credit card information? Well, let me show you why. Let's go to the product URL. Are we logged in? We are logged in. Let's go back here. Add to bag. Check out. See that this little symbol? Okay, now if we proceed to pay, now we can move forward. We click this tab, and this is where things get weird. Click inspect. So here's one of the main ways that these websites will stop your agent from working, right? This is how you get past it. This thing called an iframe. An iframe is a document inside of a document. So this whole web page you see is called a document, right? Now imagine your web page or your document has a mini web page inside of it. That's what an iframe is. So to hit this credit card number, we have to find this corresponding iframe first. So see this iframe right here? Title equals iframe for card number. So this iframe, and we can say edit as HTML, copy this. So we can let the agent know, let cursor right here. Here, nice little split we have going on. Iframe for card number, right? Just enter these details right here real quick. Title iframe for card number. And now we're gonna find the iframe for this one too. What is it? Iframe for expiry date. So that is HTML. I imagine this would be iframe for like CVV, right? They all have the same pattern. Yep, iframe for security code. So we can always just type it out. Iframe for, see, it already knows. And then this would be iframe for name. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Oh wow, so this doesn't have a hard frame, iframe. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna tell our agent, we're gonna say, here, Command I, the credit card number, expiry date, and security code fields are in separate iframes. I have given you the title of these iframes. Please adjust accordingly, as right now the program cannot find these input elements because they are hidden inside an iframe. So now cursor will edit the code for us. Developer myself, I can definitely, I know, I've been in this for 6 years, so I know what the code should look like for this. Let's keep all. I usually use the .content frame function, but if it wants to use this is fine too. I actually don't use it like this. I use a .content frame, so I don't know. But I think this should be good. I think this is like a newer way to locate iframes. I'm pretty sure. But yeah. So now again, AI wrote the code for us. And yeah, if you look at this code, it's so repetitive. It's literally the exact same piece of code again and again. Just a couple of words are different. Like, come on, that's it. This is easier than AI automation sometimes. All right, so let's run this again. Go, 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 go. So it looks like it messed up right here. Okay, proceed to pay is clicked. Credit card. Oh, what? Okay, yes. Frame locator is not a function. All right. AI messed this up. The frame locator is not a function. Use content frame function instead when handling iframes. I knew it. There you go. Now, it should have that work. I also don't like this. It says pass in selector. Okay, I honestly don't like how they're doing this. It's much easier if they just do something like this. And this is where I'm gonna have to pull out the big daddy guns. Let card number outer. And see right there, .content frame. And now this will work perfectly. Okay, so all you have to do is say, all right, that's fixed. Fixed. There you go. Now this will work how you want it to work. One thing that did mess up still was that button click. Just wait like 8,000. Oh wait, no. Hold up. Are we missing a button click? This is a checkbox. This is that button after. Await delayed 3,000. Check out our credit card. Place. Okay, so this is a button we need to wait for. All right, so the delay should be right here. So we gotta put the delay right here. This is what was messing up. I went to the credit card. Feel just perfectly. No. Okay, so one error was solved, but this error wasn't. Cardframe.type is not a function. All right, so this is a code that we've been tinkering with and we've been having issues. So one thing I realized is I forgot the await in front of these things. We can't extract the iframe without waiting to extract the iframe. So we have to add the await keyword, which lets the agent know, hey, only progress in the code once you have extracted the inner iframe. So that's what the await does. And we were missing that, which is most likely why it wasn't working. I think now we got it and it should work. Also, I may have accidentally took that out. All right, cool. So we should be good to go. Let's run this. Oh my God, it's working. Okay, so it didn't. Here, let's just put in a random number real quick. Oh, like 26. Click pay. Okay, so it went through just because the fake credit card didn't work. But the one thing I messed with was the expiry date. It was a little too quick. So we just gotta slow it down. We can just add like a delay in between. Delay like 1,000. Right? And then when you type something, you can do things like delay 100. So this will make 100 millisecond delay between each key press. Okay, let's rerun it real quick and make sure it works. We did it! We did it! Let's go. All right. Our web agent is complete. Put in a real credit card, you will actually buy his item. So we did it. We have our web system fully made. Let's go. Now we are going to market this to go ahead and get some clients. We're going to use AI to help us with that. That web agent was nuts. And now we are going to build the ultimate AI marketing system. Now we will build an AI system that can find toy shops and market for us. Why? Because toy stores need Pop Mart collectibles. So they'll be willing to pay us to use this web agent tool to get more collectibles. Simple math. Now that we have our web agent complete, we are going to create this AI marketing system from scratch. What this will do is it will find businesses, toy shops in particular, that could benefit from our Pop Mart agent and having these collectibles in their stores, and it will automatically contact them. So this is the entire workflow. We're going to build it absolutely from scratch, and let's go ahead and do that, right? The first thing we're going to have to do is simply just do a manual trigger. All right. Now what we're going to have to do next is make an HTTP request to some sort of API that can do the scraping for us. Now, I love using Appify. So here's our Appify scraper Google Maps. And this one right here is extremely good. So you go to input, you can put like toy store, your search term, New York, how many places you want to scrape. Make sure you go to here and you toggle this on. This will allow us to get the company email as well and any other extra details that, if we ever want to use them, we can. All right, click JSON, copy all this, and we are gonna send the body using JSON. We're just gonna paste it all there. Now, what is the URL? It's gonna be a post URL. And to figure out the URL is, we'll do API endpoints. See right here, click the eyeball, copy it, paste it right there. If we execute it, there you go, it executes successfully. Now it takes some time to actually, do the scraping. So we're gonna have a wait block. We're gonna wait about 20 seconds. Okay. Depending on how many leads you're scraping at once, you might want to up this. So I'd say for every 10 leads, wait 20 seconds maybe. I think that's a fair one. And then what we're going to do is do another HTTP request. This time we do a get, so API endpoints. Okay, so now we want to do is we want to grab the data sets. Okay, so this should be it right here. So we'll copy it. Oh wait, hold up. We want to figure out how can we get this data, right? Actions, API. All right. So this is it. So this is the run that we just did. So if we just copy it, we paste it in there. However, this right here, this ID is not going to be the same every single time, right? So we got to figure out which value is this ID. So once this executes, we're just going to copy the information over. And I'll show you what I mean by that. My login. So this is the ID, right? Now, where's this ID at? Right here. So we're going to take this, delete it. We're going to pass. Well, that wasn't what we wanted. Right there. Right? That's where it is, right? In between that and items. Perfect. Okay, so this will get the information. Yep, see, look at all that. All the different stores. Nice. Remember, we don't need all the information that's returned, so we're going to have this code block. And what we're going to do is we're going to make an array that will store the information we actually care about for every single business. So say individual shops equal empty array. Let's pass in, let's say, the name of the store, right? Because for each item, so no, we don't want input.first. We probably want item.json.title, okay? And then we want, let's say, do you want the address? Let's just add the address. Address, we want the email, item.json, emails. Emails, we only need the first one, right? Name, address, review count. Let's say reviews. So we saw review count right here somewhere. Oh, we have rating though, at least. So let's do rating. Okay. And then reviews. Oh, phone. Shoot. We forgot phone. Item.json. So that phone. Let's do unformatted. Reviews count. There it is. Okay, so you have ratings, reviews, phone, email, address, name, and we're gonna individual shops.push, and we're gonna return individual shops. So execute this. Look at that. Name, address, reviews, rating. This is pretty cool. You know, this is pretty cool. We have all the information we need. All right, now that we have all the information we need, we're going to add all this information into a Google Sheet. So let's go to Google Sheets, Pop Mart, toy, business leads. Okay, same thing. Name, address, email, phone, reviews, rating. And we're going to do loop. Yep, I mean, that's pretty much it, right? Loop through each one. Yeah. Let's delete this, delete that. So we're gonna have a loop right here. Google Sheets. We're gonna append a row in the sheet. We're gonna pick which one. Sheet 1. So we have name, address, reviews, rating, should be json.email, right? This should be .phone. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. And when that's done, we're just gonna go back to the loop. And then when the loop is done, we're just gonna get all the rows in the Google Sheets. So we get rows and sheets. All right, cool. Why didn't this work? All right. Okay. Look at that. We got the information in the Google Sheets. Just like that, guys and girls. That easy. Okay, let's run this loop again. Run this again. So it's just the same item for now, because if you execute the workflow from the top, then it should give everything. So let's run from the top. Let's save this, execute the workflow, and let's see how it cooks. See, loop twice, loop 3 times, loop 4 times. I believe we're scraping 10 items right now. So if I'm correct, it should loop 10 times total. Yep, look at that. 10 different stores. Wow. Of all of them, only 2 of them have actual emails. That's great. I'm sure, if you scrape 50, more will have emails, so we're good. Now we're gonna add our AI agent, make this cool. We're gonna define below. And I copy this prompt. This is how the prompt looks like. See, we are passing the name, the email. So for example, the name, the email, right? And the rating. If it has over 4.0, we still want it to kind of phrase the email in a way of, hey, go for that 5.0. If it's under 4.0, we want the email to be phrased in a way where it's like, yeah, your store needs help. Please get PopMart items. And yeah, this AI agent is basically going to create a personalized email for the business owner of the company. Okay. It requires specific output format, structured output parser. Copy from here. There you go. Another thing is you want to add a system message for AI agent. And I'll leave the information of these different prompts and system messages in a shared Notion doc in the description of the video. But cool, this will now have system message. You want to add a chat model. I'm a big OpenAI guy. Use whatever you want. 4.1 million is good. GPT-5 now is also supported. So like right here, GPT-5, that's fine as well. Actually, let's use GPT-5. Why use the old one? GPT-5 mini. Okay. And now, well, the one thing is, we want to send a email for each company, right? Not all of them at once. So we do have to add a loop in between. And let me go ahead and just move this stuff over. Delete. So now it'll loop through each of the emails, each of the businesses in the Google Sheets right here, and it'll email the ones that actually have an email. So that's a problem, right? What if they don't have an email? What are we gonna do? I'm glad you asked. Let's add an if block. Basically, if there is an email, we want to send an email. If there isn't an email, keep going through a loop. Right? Skip to the next row if there's no email. So let's go with this one. So if email string is not empty. So if it's not empty, that means there is an email. In this case, there's no email, so it's empty, right? If it's not empty, so if it's false, we would just go to the next thing in the loop, right? If it's true, we want to send an email. Send message. Send to who? Send to this email. Where's AI agent? Send this subject. It's in HTML, right? We told the agent to write in HTML, so we just copy this body right here. And boom, should be able to send an email. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna loop back to right here. Okay. And yeah, we should be good. Everything should be added successfully. And this is our AI employee that will market for us and do all that we need it to do. So let's go ahead and save this. We can go ahead and just run this. We're gonna let it run and wait for and see the results. We're gonna see how many emails it actually sends. We can see that through this node. It's gonna have a number here, kind of similar to like this, which will tell us how many emails have been sent. The only thing is, I feel like GPT-5 is so much slower, and we are using GPT-5, so maybe we gotta move to GPT-01 mini. All right, so it did send an email. So, thank God. And we can see how that email looks like. Here's how to get your 4.2 rating even higher. Oh my God. It's 12:21 a.m. Best regards, Ritesh. What an email. Oh my, this email is amazing. Look at that. And if they say yes, I'll send a counter invite. So if we can just get these companies to respond, even one company to respond, that's a $2,000 payout at minimum, because these toy companies have money to spend. I mean, they are toy companies after all. So this is a great way to market without you having to do any work yourself. Now, you might say, hey, while my AI employee is marketing for me, what are some other ways I can market, maybe manually, hands-on? Simple. Go to Reddit and leave a comment saying, here's for the boo-boo. 4 hours ago, a lot of engagement. I just got my first Labubu using this web agent I built. I'm so excited. I'm willing to help anyone. Just DM me. And now people who see this comment, which will be a good amount because this thread is very active, will DM me asking me for my PopMart web agent, and I will give it to them maybe for like $300, $400 a copy, right? Just like that, manual marketing while the AI is marketing for me as well. So I have two marketing systems at the same time. I have one last surprise for you. This system can earn you income in 3 ways. Method number one, use the AI system to find toy stores and then sell the web agent to them. That's the one that I've talked about many times in this video. Method number 2 is you use a web agent yourself to get these rare collectibles, and you sell these rare collectibles on marketplaces like StockX, or you can sell them to regular everyday people. The last method is you sell the AI and web agent system itself to other people who want to use the system for whatever the reason they need it for. 3 different ways. Pretty crazy system you just built there. Now let's build another system that uses GPT, Google Veo 3, and other important AI tools. Again, using AI tools together to create complex systems and architectures is where the real 5-figure deals, 6-figure deals are at in the AI space. So pay close attention. GPT-5, OpenAI's newest model, just dropped, and people are saying this is going to end all AI businesses. GPT can do everything that these AI agencies or AI apps are doing all by itself. Well, as a software engineer in big tech with a specialization in AI, as well as someone who runs his own multi-6-figure AI startup, I had to see if this was the case. So I spent the last couple of days playing around with GPT-5. I want to break down everything I have learned from it. First, I want to go over the notable benchmarks that we use to see which AI model is the best. So we have the software engineer benchmark, the SWE benchmark, which is used to measure AI's ability for coding tasks. GPT-5 scored the highest out of any AI model at a 74.9%. In other words, every 3 out of 4 coding tasks the GPT-5 can do successfully. The next benchmark is the AIDR polyglot benchmark, where GPT-5 scored at 88%. In other words, it can handle 9 out of 10 code editing tasks. This is pretty huge because when you are debugging code or you need to make certain changes, for your AI model to be very efficient with doing that is a huge thing for any engineer, developer, or any non-technical person building an AI system. That may involve a little bit of code. Another important benchmark is Kali, which it scored a 99% on. In other words, this benchmark lets us know that GPT-5 can follow instructions very accurately, actually scored higher than any other previous GPT model. So there is some improvement, but it's not anything that you will probably notice. So with these super high benchmark ratings, here's some other benchmarks that GPT-5 hit. Does this mean software engineers are doomed? Maybe. At least the beginner ones are. But if you're watching this and you're not a software software engineer, or even if you are, what you should be doing is the same. You should be using GPT-5 to help you build AI systems that you can sell to businesses. Later in the video, I will show you an AI system that you can build and sell, which uses GPT-5 to do something very, very cool. Here are some examples of not systems, but apps that have been created with the use of GPT-5. This is what OpenAI showed in their presentation.
What is that GPT-5, just like many of our other models, is. Whoa.
Oh,
nice.
I really
Voila. Okay, seems to be working like a mouse, but let's check maybe the third one.
Now, one thing that is funny is that these apps were supposedly created with just a couple of sentences, right, in the prompt. So this is like a one-shot prompt, and boom, you have a fully functional game or app. This is what OpenAI presented, but I tried it out myself and I asked GPT-5 to make a Pac-Man game for me. And this is what it came up with. To be honest, it was pretty trash. I honestly could not figure out how to move my Pac-Man. I didn't even know where it was. And the worst part was that it took way longer than an AI like Lovable to build this Pac-Man game, and it had 1/4 of the quality. Like, I mean, this looks like a middle school project. And you might say, was my prompting off? Well, I don't think so. I'm pretty good at prompt engineering, so I genuinely think GPT-5 just struggled with that task. Maybe it just sucks at making Pac-Man games. I don't know. But in order to prove that, models deserve a second chance too. So I asked GPT-5 to create a financial dashboard for me. I entered the prompt, I made sure to specify some key features, and I started whipping up the code rather fast. I was actually pretty shocked by how fast I was writing this code. And there was even an error, which I simply clicked the log button, and the GPT-5 was able to debug the error, write the necessary code to fix it, and everything supposedly seemed that it was working. So I tried running the project, and this is what I got. I waited. I kept waiting. I waited so long, it felt like eternity passed. So instead, I just downloaded the actual code, tried running it on my cursor, got a bunch of more errors. So that financial dashboard actually never, ever got built. I'm still waiting to this day. It's been about like 2 hours now. So these are just some personal tests I ran with GPT-5, and I recommend you trying it out yourself. But anyone who is selling AI systems or thinking of starting their own AI business needs to ask themselves 3 things before thinking, is my business or side hustle a goner? These 3 questions will tell you if AI has reached a point where people don't need humans to build these AI systems for them. Question number 1, can GPT-5 automate an entire workflow if I asked it to? And if so, how editable is that workflow? As good as GPT-5 is or isn't, if I asked it to build an automated system that asks customers in a CRM for Google reviews using personalized emails that include a high quality image, there will be numerous errors. And you might be like, why did you say that specific flow? Well, you're going to be creating it later in the video, and I'll give it to you for free. Now, GPT-5 would be great as an AI model that is used by the workflow, but asking GPT-5 to build the workflow would be a headache, right? The workflow will use GPT-5 to create these personalized emails, but if I were to tell GPT-5 to create the workflow like we tell Lovable to build an AI app, it would be in shambles. The second question you want to ask yourself is, can GPT build an entire app for you? Obviously not. It's been 2 hours. I'm waiting for my very simple financial dashboard, and I still haven't got it. On top of that, I found out that GPT-5 is actually pretty slow. Like, yeah, it wrote the code pretty fast, but the entire process of it building an app is pretty long. And I'm talking about simple apps. Despite it scoring 99% in understanding instructions on the Collie exam, I believe it was the Collie benchmark. Yeah, it was a Collie benchmark. It doesn't mean that it can execute instructions to a 99% satisfaction rate, because people pay for ease of mind. They pay for laziness. If AI isn't doing what they want, a lot of business owners will not keep wasting their time re-prompting the AI. Instead, they will hire someone who is an AI master to handle everything for them, even if the fixes are simple fixes, because people are lazy. Business owners don't have the time to start re-prompting these AIs like GPT-5 or the other models to get the desired result, right? They'll just hire someone to do it for them. And that's where you come in. It's your time to shine. And the last question is, can GPT-5 maintain an app or system? In other words, if things break, is GPT-5 capable enough to fix everything that broke and make sure the app is back up and running? The answer is no. And this happened to me before when an agent I had built crashed. The login flow was no longer working because I exceeded the rate limit for emails that are being sent with my Supabase backend. As a result, I had to manually fix this to make sure people were able to sign up for my app again. I asked AI initially to do it, but it failed multiple times. So I had to do it, the good old fashioned way, manual. It was a small fix, but even though it was a small fix, I still had to do it myself. And most business owners, right, who have never developed anything, whether it be a no code automation or a code-based automation, they're not going to do anything related to, fixing an app. And if AI AI is not able to do that fixing for them, again, they're going to rely on a real person. And that is, again, is where you come in. It's funny because it's the same business owners when I ask people to DM me on Instagram if they want a free automation, they'll slide up and DM me, but they won't actually know how to even run the automation. Like all you have to do is click, right? And they can't even do that. I don't know why they want the automation, like maybe for like their trophy case or something. So now that you know GPT-5 isn't going to make you go broke, let me show you an AI system that does exactly what I said in question 1. It asks customers in a CRM for Google reviews to personalize emails and image generation to make the email stand out that much further. So we have this workflow right here where you can see the model that we're using is GPT-5. So this will create the best output that we need from any OpenAI model, right? What it does is it get rows from a Google Sheets, right? Goes over the rows, and these rows have emails of customers of a business. And then what it will do is it will send a very personalized email to each customer, the name, the product they purchased, the email, right? And this is the instructions that we're giving it, as well as a prompt, right? Now, the emails that will be produced will each have an image. Again, what this we're just using DALL-E 3, so keeping it simple. We rely on OpenAI to create a very cool model, a very cool photo that we can put into the email, right? This will really grab the attention of the customers, because which customer wants a boring email, right? You want emails that customers like, whoa, this got my attention. I mean, respond to it and actually do what it says and leave a review, right? And then it sends the message to the customer, right? It sends the email to them via Gmail. And here's some example emails that have been sent with this flow. See, very personalized, and GPT-5 does a really good job of doing this. GPT-4 wasn't bad, but GPT-5 is better. This is where GPT-5 shines, right? And this flow is very powerful because businesses need Google reviews to get more customers. They'll be willing to spend a lot of money to get more reviews. So this is something that you can actually sell to businesses for maybe your first $500 online, your first $1,000 online. You can get even crazier with it. If you want this workflow, all you have to do is join my free school community and go to the classroom, and you'll find a collection of free AI systems that you can start selling today. In this video, we will build an end-to-end AI agent that creates and uploads YouTube videos on autopilot for us. Because I'm tired of seeing these reigning YouTube channels making $3,000 every month while I'm working 24/7 just to make a couple of bucks. And at the end of the video, I will share how to get this end-to-end automation for free. So this automation right here will allow us to create YouTube channels that have millions upon millions of views of just AI generated content. So let's get right to it. All right. So the first step is we're going to have a scheduled trigger. Ideally, every single day we'll upload a new YouTube short, right? So we have it on a schedule, and we can say every day, and not midnight. Let's do a time where a lot of people watch YouTube videos, which is around like 11 a.m. Yep. All right, that's good. All right, so we have our schedule trigger. So next what we're going to be doing is adding our ideas AI agent. This AI agent will be responsible for generating just the ideas that are, are trendy, or we can, if you already have your idea of, let's say, I want to make cat videos only, you can just have the idea AI agent say, make cat videos, right? Or just have ideas revolving around cats, whatever you want to do. So in our case, we'll have the AI agent right here. We'll rename it to Ideas AI Agent. Okay. All right. So now the main part is the chat model, right? What brain are we really going to give our AI agent? We're going to use OpenAI. So for that, you're going to have to create a credential. So you go create a new credential, and you could add your API key that you will get from ChatGPT's platform. So you see right here, I have my API keys right here, and you can just create a new secret key. You give it a name, and then you create it. I'll be using one that already exists in my case, but that's how you set that up. Very straightforward. And I already have my account right here. So I'll be using this one. And I recommend the GPT-4o mini model. The 4o model itself is also pretty good. It's totally up to you. Again, me personally, I like the 4o mini, but I know a lot of people also like this one right here, 4.1. The results are pretty much the same, so it doesn't really matter. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the prompt for the Ideas AI agent as well as the system message, right? So for the prompt, we're just going to be defining exactly, what we want the Ideas AI agent to do. I will copy and paste this information from my prompt library, which I will leave the details for the prompts, the actual template for this automation in the description below. So be sure to follow that in case you just want to copy and paste and use it for yourself. But I highly recommend just following along. And now for the system message. All right, so now let's break the system message down. We are letting you know that, it's designed to generate one immersive, realistic idea based on user provided topic. We have some rules, right, that we want the agent to follow, because in the future, we're going to be giving this to a prompt AI agent that's going to generate prompts for us, right? And we don't want the idea to be anything too crazy where the prompt becomes really crazy. Then it becomes so complicated for Google Veil, which we are a video generation engine, to actually generate the videos, right? So, we have, for example, include 12 hashtags in this order. So we have some specifications on how to include hashtags, because hashtags mean more views for your YouTube shorts. We want the, under 20 words. We want to describe where the event's happening, key visuals, right? Basically be as, specific as we can, right? We also have an output format. So next thing we want to do is add this output format parser, and then we have to add an output parser. So I guess we just do that. And now for output parser, what we're going to be doing is we are going to give it just the same exact output we put in the prompt. So I'm going to paste that right here. So the caption, the ID, the environment, and the status. And you can see right here, we have the same outline in the system message at the bottom. Right? Again, this is specific. So we want to be clear with how we want our video to be. We don't want to make a bunch of steps for our video, a bunch of details, because when you give Google Veil, which is the platform, again, you'll be using to create these videos, right? You don't want to make it too complicated. You want to keep it simple and straightforward. So now we have our idea AI agent that would generate some cool ideas for us. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually log our idea into a Google Sheets. So let me show you how the Google Sheets will look like. First, let me say the Google Sheets, right? And now we're going to be appending a row in the sheet. All right. So now it's about actually connecting, right? So, all right. So we have this Google Sheet right here, which we'll be using. Right now, let me show you how this looks like. So you see a bunch of ideas that we have already when I was testing this workflow from the version that's already been created. And yeah, it will be logging all the ideas here. Okay. So we have the idea section, the caption, production, environment, prompt. So we're adding everything in this idea column. So sheet 1, right? And again, we'll be appending the row. So it'd be pretty straightforward. And now we also have to map each idea manually. So for this, we were doing an expression equals row -1. All right. And of course, for idea, for caption, production, environment, prompt, final output, what we're going to be doing is we're going to execute previous nodes. Let's let it run, and then we can drag and drop exactly what we're looking for. So for example, the idea right there, caption right there. Oh, just move that down a bit. Right, the environment. Cool. So we have everything out. That's perfect. And execute this step. Let's see if it gets successful response. Yep, node execute successfully. Check this, and bang, look at that. A kitten dances with a puppy in a flower field. So we have the idea, we have the caption, and we have the environment prompt. So this is perfect. Everything exactly we want. See the captions we have as well, right here. Just how we want it. Nice. So now comes the next step. So now we're going to be adding a prompts AI agent. So this AI agent will be responsible for generating a prompt based on the idea, right? So let's call it prompter AI agent. Rename. All right. Same thing. We're going to be defining below. Now we're going to have our system message as well. So here's the prompt that we'll be using. This is similar. So JSON.idea is what this is right here. And then JSON.environment prompt is right here. So if you guys are like, how'd you get to that point? You just literally drag this right there and bang. Very straightforward. So that's the prompt. So we're gonna say, give me a Veil3 prompt for this idea, represent the idea, and then this is the environment, right? Now, the actual system message. So this is where like we really go into what we want Google Veil to create. So again, I'll paste this and let's walk through this. So we're telling you exactly what it is, right? It's an AI agent that creates hyper-realistic cinematic video prompts for Google Veil 3, right? And now we also want to follow a specific structure. See, Google Veil 3 is extremely good at creating hyper-realistic videos. Like, look at this right here. And you can really pick you can really edit like the camera angles, the colors, the scenery. So you want to be kind of specific with how you want it to look like, right? So see right here, you have the main character, description, time of day, lens, the audio, the background, right? And we also, again, we don't want to overcomplicate the prompts. We're going to give it some specifications on how many characters we want our prompt to be. We don't want any humans. Remember, we're trying to create like an animal only YouTube channel, like we showed in the beginning of this video. We're also including some do nots, right? Don't name the character. Don't include. We can take this out. We do want more than one character. Don't describe subtitles that don't break the paragraph he's formatting. Don't write vague or abstract scenes. We want it to be clear what's going on. Now for the chat mode, again, we're going to be using OpenAI's chat model because it's so good. So why not? And now we know a good prompt can be generated. So let's execute the step. And look at that. That's a prompt it gave us. A sunny meadow with colorful flowers dancing in the breeze. Playful kitten twirls a joyful puppy. Aw, that's kind of sweet. All right. So we have our prompter AI agent. Now we have our prompt, right? And we have the output. Yep, right there. Now comes the step where we're actually going to be creating the video. So to do this, we are going to fire an HTTP request to a specific API, which we Google Veil's API. So let's go through that. So we're going to be using Fal AI, which allows us to create text to videos and has an API as well. So we can give it the prompt and it's directly connected to Google Veil 3. See the API right here. And this will allow us to send the HTTP request and tell Google Veil 3, hey, we need a video. Now, how do we actually add this to what we're looking for? Well, we'll do HTTP right here, curl URL. And you can see this is the request that needs to be made. So we can copy that. And we can paste it right there. Okay. Now authentication, well, we want to send headers, right? So we want to send headers. And now the header that we're going to be adding is our key, our authorization key. So our name, authorization, and then the value of your key. When you create an account, you have your own key. So make sure you don't share it, keep it hidden. But let me add my key. Oh, I actually have $0. I need to put some money in my account and then I'll add my key. All right. So let me add my key first. Say N8N key. I have my key. I copy my key. And then I'll go to my workflow, paste it. So that's good. All right. And again, I need money in my actual account. So what I need to do is, well, first make this post because it's a post request. And I top up my account. So, all right. So I successfully added money to my account, put 20 bucks in that. I'll have my API key ready. And now what I'm going to do is I have it there. It's a post request, like I said. So I'm not going to execute it because I don't want to accidentally, create a video right now. But what we have is we have authorization, you have the key. Now we got to do is we got to send our body as well. So remember in our body, we're sending the output, right? The actual prompt that we want to add. We actually want to create the video on, right? So let's do that. Let's make it raw. Then we are going to follow what the API said. where'd it go? In the body, we want to throw in the prompt, right? As well as actual, whatever the prompt is. So what we're going to be doing is we go to here. We're going to say prompt that. And then we are going to add the output like that. And there. So we have our prompt, the JSON output. So that's all good. And then add options, batching, items per batch, just one. And then 2000. All right. So this looks good. So now what we're gonna be doing is, since the video is being created, it takes Google Veil about 2 or 3 minutes for the video to be created. So after the 2 or 3 minutes is when we can actually go and get that video that just got created, store it, and actually upload directly to YouTube. So we're gonna add a little wait step. So we're gonna say like wait. We're gonna wait about 3.5 minutes. Okay, before we actually go ahead and ask for, hey, give us the video that you just created. So now that we have our wait node, what we're gonna be doing is create another HTTP request. And this time we're gonna actually get the, get the video we just created, right? So to do that, we're going to look at the API, see right here. This is a GET request that we're gonna need. So drag this over here. So put that, again, send headers, and then we have the authorization. And then I hope you saved your key. You're gonna have to paste the key. I don't think I saved it, did I? Here, let me use my clipboard history. There you go. There's my key. And then I believe that should be good. Okay, so the request ID. Now, what is that, right? That doesn't exist here. So what we have to do, make this expression, and we are going to be passing in the request ID that we will get from the previous step. So the way that will look like is, just to save you guys some money so you don't accidentally, spend your dollars on a video just to get the request ID in the input node. This is how it's going to look like. So make sure URL is the following: request/json.requestid. Okay. So again, please make sure it looks exactly like this. And now that we got our video, you might think, okay, now we can upload to YouTube. Well, there's a little, it's kind of unique where it doesn't work like that. What you have to do is you have to turn this video, right, into like a binary. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to make another HTTP request. And we're going to get the URL of the video. So the way that's going to look like, again, just to save you guys some money from having to test run this. So json.video URL. Okay. So this is how it's going to look like. And you don't have to send anything. This will be the HTTP request. So it's good right there. And then you can actually get the YouTube video. But upload video. Okay, and connect your YouTube account, right? I already have my YouTube account connected. The title and the input binary field, leave as data. The region code, just put wherever you live. United States. Category name, pets and animals, or you say entertainment. And then title can be whatever, right? For now though, or you can have maybe the environment that we got from the prompter right here be the title, right? Or the idea even. So yeah. But before we do all of that, let's run this end to end and see how this looks like. Okay, so let's execute all the previous nodes. Please check your credentials. So create video. Okay, so it looks like, okay, I know why. I forgot the keyword key. So we're gonna add key, and now it will work. Okay, so we have to do the same thing right here. Add key, copy all of that. All right, so Now let's run this. All right, so it's in the queue. Perfect. So now it is in the queue and we can wait 3 minutes, right? And once you wait 3 or 3.5 minutes, we'll fire this node and it should be able to successfully get the video. All right, now that we have waited, we can now get the video. The request ID we already passed in, right? And let's say you're doing it for the first time, you would simply just add a slash and then put the request ID right there. It will be the same thing. Execute the step. There you go. We successfully got the video, right? And we have our URL, the HTTP request. We're gonna pass this in. Yeah. So, oh, I actually messed up. It's json.video.url. Cool. All right. So now we execute this. There you go. There's a binary, right? We can actually view it, see what. Now that doesn't warm your heart. Come on. I know that warms your heart. We have our binary. And now the cool part, we can upload directly to YouTube. So this is what you guys have been waiting for. So we have YouTube. Now the question is, what's the title? Okay, so the title, we're gonna have to let's look at some previous nodes maybe. So in the ideas AI agent, we can put the idea as a title. All right. And this should upload to YouTube. Just to be sure, let me run this. Just give it a bit. There you go. Our video is uploaded and let's double check. Oh, there you go. A kitten dances with a puppy in a flower field. There you go. There's our video. Wow. It is on YouTube just like that. It's that easy. Now there's one last step that we haven't done yet. All right. So the last step is to add the upload marker, right? As uploaded, like here, for our production category for the video we upload. So to do that, we're going to action app, Google Sheets, and we're going to say update row in a sheet. Make sure you select the exact same Google Sheet, sheet 1, map each column manually. We're going to match on the idea. So the idea using to match, to do that, we simply go to the prompter AI agent. No, it's ideas AI agent, the idea. Pass that in there. Production, we want mark as uploaded, and the final output will be the get video and the URL. So that's final output. Everything looks good. We'll check. There you go. Marker is uploaded. Perfect. Now, if you want this automation, join my free school community right here. We have over 1,000 members. You can go to Classroom and you can get a ton of automations with this course right here. So it's free. If you want the prompts, the actual end-to-end template, check that out and subscribe to the channel. Now, with all the different AI agents, apps, workflows, systems, architectures you've learned to make, you're probably like, man, if I'm doing all this, how can I have time to do other things in life, like spend time with my family, my friends? Well, coming up, I'm going to show you exactly how I made over $50,000 with just 2 AI apps that I spend 5 hours a month on. Yeah, it gets pretty crazy. But before that, I want you to hear from my mentee who's 21 years old and has landed multi-5-figure deals. If you had to make a 5-step action plan for someone who's getting started, what would the 5-step action plan be? So like
5 step. Okay. First step.
What was the first AI agent or automation tool that you ever built for a client?
He was looking for a list of therapists and coaches like across the world, and he had these websites. He sent me like 10 websites.
What is like your biggest piece of advice for someone who wants to start their own automation agency?
You have to.
I won't ask you for the exact amount you're getting paid, but in terms of the range, what would you say it is?
Yeah, this is shaping up to be like a deep 5-figure.
Hey, yeah, what's up, Ronald? So, Ronald, you created a project for $5,000 for one single client. But before we get into that, I kind of want to start on how you first got into this automation space, where you first learned about it, what really made you want to do this, right? Because as far as I remember, you are now a college senior. You know, we met when you were a college junior, and as you progress through your journey, and you're now a senior in college. But even before you really got to this point, like tell me a bit about how it all started.
Yeah, so going into the spring of my junior year, I was looking for ways to make money on the side because I figured, AI is taking off. I have this coding ability. How can I figure out how to monetize this online? And I came across your videos and I was like, wait, this actually seems like pretty doable. Like the stuff he's doing. I was following along. I was like, okay, I've done basically all these projects before on my own, but now I can get paid to do it. So it's like, this is a perfect opportunity to learn how to do it and sell to clients. So that's how I got started about 6-7 months ago. I actually watched one of your interviews with one of your previous mentees, and I was like, let me just check it out and try it out.
Yeah, so I think you probably saw an interview with Ilya then, right? It's almost like a
exactly.
And now you're on the other end, right? Now you're doing the interview, right? Yeah. So hopefully someone watching this will see this and be like, oh wait, I can definitely do this. Like he's in college, I'm also in college. Let me go ahead and start my side hustle, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What would you say for the people who are, sitting on their hands that are in the coding space, especially, call new grad engineers as well as college students who are just looking at the job market, the tech job market, and are scared, of what to do? How important would you say it is to start a side hustle using, their tech skills that they already have?
Yeah, I think it's super important because everyone needs it. Like everyone needs a website, everyone needs automation, everyone sees AI as important. So being able to use that and leverage that is huge. And also it's just having that skill is so valuable right now, and people are really looking for that. If someone does have a job or they just want to make money on the side, it's a great opportunity because everyone knows AI is going to take off. So why not be part of the people who are taking advantage of that?
Did you put it on your resume? Like any of the projects that you've built in your automation journey thus far?
I had previous internship experience. So I mainly just focused on that, but I have mentioned it in like 1 or 2 bullet points.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I feel like nowadays a lot of students, they'll do personal projects, but personal projects where you have real numbers to show, like I built X agent for this many clients, resulted in an increase in this much of revenue for them, right? Had this many users. You have analytics to really, go with your personal project. That's really gonna make you stand out among all the other, people who are applying for tech jobs and tech internships, right? Especially for the new grads. I know a lot of new grad friends who still don't have a job, and it's been 3 years.
Yeah, it's tough. You want to show that you have that experience and that ability to ship something to users. So I haven't added many of my projects because I've already released projects that have users. So, and every time I go into an interview, I always bring that up and they're always impressed. And a lot of times they ask for the link to it, and I send them the link to the App Store or to my website. So having that type of ability to show that you've worked with clients is huge and definitely can elevate you in the interview.
Yeah. What was the first AI agent or automation tool that you ever built for a client, like a paid project?
Yeah, my first one, he was looking for a list of therapists and coaches across the world, and he had these websites. He sent me 10 websites, and they're all pretty easy to scrape and collect the data from. So I just set up an automation to go to those websites, get all the emails, put them into a CSV, and then I wrote a script to clean up the emails, remove any entries that didn't have emails, put it all into one CSV, and then sent it to him. So that was my first project. Thankfully, it's pretty simple, but it was a good starter project as well.
How did you get the client? How much did he pay you for it?
So that client I got through a community. There was a school community where I was just being active and just checking it every day. And then he mentioned that he was looking for some data scraping, and I was like, oh, I think I can pretty much get the data from these websites. They look pretty unprotected. So I was like, this should be easy. And then in terms of payment, since that was my first project, he didn't really trust me and believe in my skills. Like I said, I have this professional experience and, I've scraped other data before. I literally have an app that's data scraping, but he was like, I don't know about it. So I was just like, you know what, let me just do this for free for a testimonial. And then he did that. And then using that testimonial, I was able to get my next paid client.
Yeah, that's fire. That's fire. I think did he give video testimony or?
Yeah, it was a video testimonial. So it's actually still on my website now. You'll see him. He explains what I did for him and how great it was, and it's 3 minutes long. But using that experience, I was able to get my next client.
No, that's fire. Honestly, I think video testimonies are way better than any written or testimony because nowadays people can just fake business owners and especially in the online space in general. A lot of people are just faking testimonies. So they'll put a random picture of someone, random name like John Doe, say whatever. But video testimony goes so far. I believe you have about 4 or 5 now, right, on your website. Video testimony.
Yeah, exactly. So now when I work with someone after the service, just ask them, hey, can you recorded a 30-second to a minute video, and no one said no, because I think I make sure I provide good enough service that they'll be like, yeah, like Ronald's a good guy, he had good service, and then that's it. Just, I don't ask for much, just 30 seconds. So yeah, most people are more than willing to give it to me.
Yeah, I remember you built a YouTube scraper for me, and I even gave you a testimony.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think as long as you just do the work quickly, fast, you're like fun to work, or not, maybe not fun to work, but just pleasant to work with, people will be more than willing to give you one.
Yeah. What would you say is the agent you built that took you the least amount of time, as well as the one that took you the most amount of time? And this is all paid work.
The least amount of time, so I'm working with like a lawyer who's like collecting documents from different county websites. And so I think we've all used like these old government websites, and sometimes they can, again, be pretty easy to scrape. So collecting data from those sometimes is like really easy. It takes me like 10, 15 minutes sometimes. And I get paid for all the data I collect from. And then the most intensive projects I've done, I'm still working on it. It's an agent that automatically checks ticket stock on a different website. And then this is a ticket broker. So they buy and sell tickets. And so I go and check the price. I go see if it's available. I go see if it's sold out. And then that agent reflects that on their ticket brokering system. So it updates the price, marks it as sold out so people can't buy it, relist tickets. So it's very intensive, and it's like connecting Google Sheets, connecting multiple different websites. Yeah. I'm constantly running it and monitoring it. And so that's still ongoing. So that's definitely been my moat.
I won't ask you for the exact amount you're getting paid. I imagine clients probably don't want that out there. But in terms of the range, what would you say it is?
Yeah, this is shaping up to be like a deep 5-figure project. So yeah, this is going into like the 5 figures for me, which is really nice. So like as a college student, like I used to be stressing about like $7 a month hosting fees for like my apps, but like now this is nice.
The crazy come up. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think when you first joined the mentorship program, you were, at that point you had built projects, right? But you weren't working on paid projects at that point, right?
Yeah. So I built 2 projects. They each have like 200 downloads and like users, but I never monetized them. And I was always trying to figure out like, okay, how can I monetize these? And then I realized like just having a service-based business is a great way to get started for like no cost. So just getting straight into it and providing a service for someone. That's great.
I'm if I'm correct, you've also worked with some of the other like mentees, like the alumni of the mentorship, right? Like Shubham and others. What has your experience been just being able to work on projects with other people's clients, I guess you can say?
Yeah. So I've worked with Shubham on a couple projects, and I'm working with him now on a real estate project, and that's been pretty fun. So like we're scraping Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, all the big real estate websites, and we're doing lead gen based on that. And just overall, it's been really good to work with him because he's been in this game for, I think he was your mentee like 2 years ago or a year ago. So just being able to learn from someone who's been in it for multiple years and see how they handle contracts and communication has been huge. So just learning from him has been great. And he's also a great developer, of course.
Yeah, no, I guess I have never showed his on YouTube channel, but he sent me a text. I think I put in the Discord. He sent me a text and I was in Peru, like the middle of the desert. So I just landed a 30K annual deal. And then I was like, oh shit, that's lit, right? That's lit.
Yeah.
That was so random. I think I showed like one of the people I was, cause they had asked me what I do, right? For like a living. And I was like, oh, I build agents, but also teach people. And then I showed them the text and they're like, oh shit, that's like pretty cool. Like, that's pretty cool. But what is like your biggest piece of advice for someone who wants to start their own automation agency?
You have to show up every day and just constantly work at it. So like for me, I have a goal of every day, like posting at least one piece of content across one different platform. So at least one piece of content on one platform. And the reason for that is like sometimes I'll post something for like weeks, right? And no one reaches out. Then 1 week, 2 people reach out, and then maybe one of them actually converts. And sometimes it's from old content. So you just got to constantly be putting stuff out, testing what works, seeing what's not working. I started a YouTube channel because I think I'm fine being on camera, sharing that story, sharing my voice with it. Other people may not. So in that case, you have to really go into like the text-based ones. But whatever platform you choose, you just got to keep going at it every day and like just keep going. Like, cause there's so many times it's just like you're getting nothing, but then some days you get like strike gold. So you just got to keep mining in a way.
What are your go-to platforms to post on?
For me, I join like different communities. So I've been mainly using School. And I also post on YouTube. So I have my own channel where I show people how I make my agents and things of that nature. So I think I've just been focusing really on those two, School and YouTube.
Okay. Have you used Reddit? I know obviously when I was like, when you were a student in the mentorship program, we used Reddit, LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Have you utilized Reddit, LinkedIn since then? Or have you just been sticking to School, YouTube for now?
I've been sticking with School and YouTube just because like those worked. And so I just want to keep going with them and then really just milk them dry. And then when I start to see that really slow down and I'm not converting at all, I'm going to go back to Reddit because I've made a few posts and they got a decent amount of views and some people commented, but I think it's harder for me, at least. I haven't figured out Reddit and the other platforms, but YouTube and school, it's like, okay, I get what to do here. So I'm just focusing on those two. I think that's another piece of advice. Like, maybe for someone else, they're like, oh, I understand Reddit a lot and it's going to be easy for me to get clients. If that's the case, then do Reddit. Like, there's no one size fits all. It's like you have to figure out what works for you.
On your YouTube channel, how has a lead flow been, right? As well as how you've been posting consistently?
So for me, YouTube has been more of just social proof. I haven't had any leads come in, and I think that's because I've been very technical focused. So I'm planning to transition more to reaching out directly to business owners and tapping into that audience. So right now I'm focusing on developers. So I think that's why it's been a little bit slower. And in terms of consistency, I try to post 1 to 2 times a month, which I know is like really low. So I'm trying to up that right now and just pump out more ideas for that as well.
I believe I remember going on your website like recently. You have a pretty big, like I think 6 features of just you showing yourself building out some scrapers or discussing some of your projects, videos, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever thought of like, actually maybe you already had, and I'm just not as hip to it, but have you reposted those on YouTube?
Yeah, maybe I could repost those as shorts. I just didn't want to. Yeah, that's a good point. I could repost those as shorts or even on my YouTube and like break them down big into like more in depth. So that's a good point.
I think every business now needs to do, especially if you're starting your agency or any service-based business, or honestly any business where that requires like online presence. You want to start a YouTube channel, and again, like you said, it doesn't have to be for views. It can just be for social proof. So you can point people to like a playlist that you make, right? And now they're going down your playlist, seeing your proof of work, right? Like all the Loom videos you have on your website, June Labs. If you put it at just one playlist, like proof of work or real examples, developers or other business owners will look at your projects and be like, oh, shoot, this is a cool, they'll basically binge watch your playlist, right? Because people are naturally prone to do that. And now they're going to be warmed up and they're going to have a lot more trust in what you have to offer, right? So it'll just help you convert a lot more. What is your primary negotiation tactic when you're talking to these clients to actually get them to, close and pay you?
So I focus on value, and so I try to stay away from hourly based pricing. I focus on value. So for example, for the ticketing automation, this is going to save them tens of thousands of dollars per month and also tens of hours per week. So I'm able to charge more for that. For the lawyer automation, the same idea. Instead of him going to all these websites, clicking the next button 100 times for one search term, and he has 300 search terms. Okay, I'm saving you like 10 to 15 hours a week. You value your time at, let's say, or each of these cases is worth like, I don't know, X amount of dollars, and I'm saving you X amount of time. So then you're able to charge more. So when you frame it like that, it's a lot easier to get more money. I try really to stay away from like hourly based pricing because like it's hard to give yourself that value. And if you're bringing them tens of thousands of dollars of value, why are you limiting yourself to $100 an hour? So I just try to do this, how much value I'm bringing you. And then I'm just taking a small percentage of that. And small percentage can be relative. It could be big personally, but to them, it's like, okay, that's fair. And I think most business owners would agree with that. It's like, if I'm getting $100,000 of value from you, paying you $10,000 is completely reasonable. Yeah,
like one of the biggest things when people say AI is replacing jobs, like if you're helping a company lay off 3 of their employees or basically do the work of 3 employees, like an average employee on like the lower end can make like 40 grand a year, right? So imagine you lay off 3 employees, you're saving a company $120,000 a year. So any company who wants to make more money, which is the goal of every company, will pay you any amount of money lower than 120 per year, right? If you're saving that much. So 30 grand a year, 40 grand a year. I think that's how Shubham, how his annual deal is looking, right? It's like you're saving X amount, you're saving them, let's say 60 grand a year. So they'll definitely pay you 30 grand a year. And then eventually they might hire someone else who's only charging 20 grand a year, right? Because whatever can get their cost to be as low as possible, right? But that's where your money's coming in. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. I know when I talk to other software engineers and developers who are employed at big companies like Google, Netflix, Amazon, they see these ticket sizes and like there's no way someone will pay you 10 grand for like an agent that took you 2 weeks to build, right? Because think about it. A 10 grand, like these engineers are making maybe 10 grand a month, right? And they're working 40 hours a week, right? Sometimes even 60. And so they're like, there's no way you make the same amount with much less time, like doing this part-time for 2 weeks. But then you phrase it in the value, like, well, I saved them like 30 grand a year. So they're paying me 10 grand one time. So in 2 years, they're saving 60 grand, 3 years, they're saving 90 grand, right? And I'm only getting paid 10K once, and that's, they're like, Yeah. Oh shit. Now it makes sense. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. I do see a trend. A lot of developers now starting their own agencies, and even non-technical employees like financial analysts, business analysts starting their agencies because they're starting to see like the value-based model that you're basically talking about, right? Not everything's about the hour anymore. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
What is your goal for your agency for the next, let's say, 6 months? You've been doing this for 6 months already. You've had, I guess, a lot more success than most beginner owners will have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're just trying to do this themselves and they don't have like a mentor, they don't have a guidance or community, whatever, right?
Yeah.
What is your plan for the next 6 months? Like, what is your, are you going for like a X amount of money per month goal for your agency, or are you looking to maybe work with 200 plus clients, or what's your goal?
My goal is to actually reduce the number of clients I'm working with, but increase the price per client. That way I have more free time. Of course, everyone wants to make money while not doing that much. So of course that's the goal. But yeah, I definitely would want to crack like 5 to 10K a month recurring every month while only having like 1 to 3 clients while doing that. Cause I'm also still going to be in school. So want to make sure like I'm doing well, passing all my classes, whatever. And then once I graduate, of course, then I'll have more free time to like really focus in on this. So.
Or do you see yourself working a full-time job after this, or after you graduate, or are you just going to focus more on the business?
I think definitely having the opportunity to work in tech is huge. Like being able to work at like a company like Microsoft or Google or, Capital One, or like whatever it may be, you get paid so well and you have so many benefits. I think there is value in doing that for at least 1 year, like at a minimum 1 year for me. But if the money's the same, or if I just really want to take a different direction in life, I'll definitely pursue this full time.
I mean, obviously having agency takes up some time, but it doesn't have to take up 40 hours a week of time, right?
Exactly.
You do this part-time. A lot of people do this part-time. And until at least it scales to the point where, like, okay, maybe if I put in more time now, maybe I'm earning 80 grand a month from this and my engineer salary is like 140, right?
Yeah.
If I double down, because when your salary, you're capped, right? As a worker, right?
Yeah.
But if your business is making 80K part-time, then imagine how much you make full-time, So that's eventually a lot of engineers will make that jump. A lot of business owners or part-time business owners will make that jump when it hits those money goals, right? That's something I did, right? I imagine a lot of people will too, right? And I see a lot of people doing that, especially with just the way things are looking like, and how fast AI is moving and how slow these big corporations are adopting AI into their work.
Yeah. So you made the jump? That's a update.
Oh yeah. I quit my full-time job.
Oh wow.
I thought you knew that. I thought
no.
Oh shit.
No.
Yeah, it's been like a month and a half. I might cut this part out. I don't know. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna make a YouTube video where I'm gonna be like, I quit my software engineering job. The classic, right?
Yeah.
But no, I did quit. I quit Capital One. Start of May.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. So it's been some time, man.
Sick.
I guess you haven't touched base in a while. Yeah. But
Yeah. We could just continue from this point, but yeah, for me, it's just my goal is just getting that recurring revenue, because right now I have a lot of these like one-time setup fees, getting that one time. But now it's like, okay, can I create bigger platforms that take up more time, focus on 2 to 3 people, and then get paid recurring for that? And basically create because every tech bro's dream is the SaaS, the $1 billion SaaS, you're getting paid every month and you don't touch it. And for me, it's like, okay, this is like a way of kind of shortcutting that. It's like, okay, just get someone big enough and have them pay me every month for it.
If you had to make a 5-step action plan for someone who's getting started, what would the 5-step action plan be? So let's say from scratch, within the next 2 weeks, to have a business up and running.
Ooh, okay, 5 steps. Okay, first step, create a website with a name. I just did June Labs because that's my nickname, June, and then Labs because it sounds cool and it sounds like tech. So just literally create a website, create a landing page that explains exactly what you do. So that's step 1. Step 2, and honestly, this should be step 1. Find different forums and platforms and people in your network that you can reach out to. So if you know someone who owns a med spa, or a dentist, think about how you could help their business. Can you create an AI chatbot? Can you create a new website for them? Can you create an automation for them? Are they complaining about their email inbox being overflooded? So find people who you can reach out to and different platforms and places you can advertise. 3, learn the skills. So whether that's N8N, Python, JavaScript, whatever it is, whatever you want to do or whoever you're able to get interested, learn those skills. And then 4, I would say learn advertising. So whether that's content creation, cold email campaigns, paid ads. I think as a beginner, the best thing is cold email. It's relatively cheap and you can get started pretty quickly. And then 5th, I would say just constantly keep learning and consuming content and having this community of people and you as a resource that I can hop on a call with or talk with Shubham or other people in the mentorship has been incredibly invaluable. It's just being able to bounce ideas off of people and have that community and know that things are going to be fine, that you can talk through it is super helpful. So finding that community and just keep learning every day. Like every day I try to watch like at least 1 to 2 videos regarding AI automation. GPT-5 just came out, so I'm gonna read up on that. There's constantly learning and constantly taking action. So yeah, I'd say that's like my 5 steps. Set up a website, find people to contact, keep learning like the specific skills that you're going to sell them, find places to advertise, and then find a community of people you can talk to about it.
A solid 5-step plan. I don't think I said better myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for all the beginners watching this, if you're looking to start your agency, part-time, full-time, whatever your spot may be, call a student like Ron or a full-time employee or a full-time employee like myself. Then, that's what you got to do, right? It's more doable than it's ever been, especially with the help of AI. Like, landing page, put it in one lovable prompt away.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Landing page,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, exactly.
That's great. What have you found as the biggest bottleneck in your business?
I'd say the biggest bottleneck for me, and I think every business on the planet, is just like getting more customers. Like Apple still has to advertise in Times Square and Manhattan, put up billboards. So like everyone's just trying to get more customers. So getting people interested and getting them to care and understand the value of this and positioning yourself as like the person to do it for them. Because everyone knows like there's a lot of, so I focus on automation and process automation and data collection. So everyone knows that there's inefficient processes in their business. And so it's trying to show them that I'm the right person to help them do that. So I'd say that's like definitely the hardest part.
How do you stand out? Just your online testimonials? Use your testimonial.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I mean. You need that online presence, like a nice looking website, getting those first testimonials where it's like a video testimonial. You can do that work for free. I guess I could update that list, but do a couple jobs for free. Get those video testimonials and then leverage those to get people in the future. And that's why I created the YouTube videos, because like I'm showing you that I'm not just offshoring this or I'm not BSing you. I'm literally walking you through the exact step-by-step of how I did this so I can do this for your business. That's my thinking behind it.
That's fire. No, I know I've been asking you to get on like an interview for some time, and you've always like, I want to get more progress, more portfolio, bigger portfolio.
Yeah.
You reached a pretty solid point, and it's only more to come, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your main tech stack that you use to deliver your client projects?
Yeah, so most of the time I'm doing my projects in Python. So in terms of like entire tech stack, I'm using like Claude Code. Absolutely. Like if you're not using Claude Code and you're not a developer in 2025, like I'll go as far as to say that. Like if you're not using at minimum Claude Code or Cursor, you need to be using that. Even if you're like senior engineer, I think it would be very helpful. So Claude Code is my go-to, Python. And then really just depends on the project. So requests is an outdated library. The new library to be using is curl_CFFI. It allows you to do like undetected requests. And then in terms of like my WebDriver for browser automations, I've been using a library called CamoFox. It's like pretty new underground, and I'm giving it away for free. I didn't create it, but like I'm, putting everyone on game. So curl_CFFI and CamoFox are my like 3 main tech stacks with Python.
Fire. You don't use no-code tools as much, like end-to-end? Or I guess your projects just haven't, because more scraping, right? So you probably don't need it as much right now.
Yeah. So my projects are a little bit more complex and they get more in depth than end-to-end can handle. And I was actually planning to make a video on this of basically talking about like, I feel like the vast majority of people should not be using end-to-end because you see these workflows that are like 500 nodes or something, and it's just so hard to read and debug, and it's just like you need to be coding. So I think most of the time you should be using code, but that's my hot take.
Yeah, that's a good take. That's a good hook.
Yeah. That's my hot take.
Yeah, that's a hot take. Because I know like people like Lev, they're like end-to-end demons. Crazy.
I think someone like him, I think I've seen some of his recent workflows. I think they're getting to the point. It started off being end-to-end, good for end-to-end, but I think the complexity now is like that should be code.
Yeah, you tell him that he's a high schooler, so But I do an interview with him coming next week, so if you guys are watching this, feel free to watch that video as well. If you could go back in time on your agent development journey, what is one thing you would change?
I would do more outreach sooner. Like the first thing I would set up was like my cold outreach campaigns and learning how to do cold email, because it's just a numbers game. You got to reach out to a bunch of people. You got to get a bunch of people interested. Say you have 10 people interested who reply to you. Let's say you close 3 of them. Okay, great. But let's say if you're only reaching out to 100 people per day and then it takes like 2 weeks to get those 10 people, it's going to take forever to get results. But if you're reaching out to 1,000 or 10,000 people per day, now all of a sudden you're flooded with people who are interested, and then you're closing more, and then you have constant deal flow. So just reaching out to more people, like it's just, you got to just keep going out there, keep talking to people, networking in real life, connecting with people like you, just more outreach, always just more outreach.
In the beginning, before you had a bunch of video testimonials, when you were writing your first emails, how did you show your credibility as a business owner?
That's a good point. So for me, I had to rely on other social proof. So it's like, okay, I have internships at these other companies. I'm studying computer science at university. So I'm learning I know how to code. I've released these projects on the App Store that you can check out. So just leveraging other forms of social proof that are not directly tied to the business in the beginning, but as soon as possible, switching into like business social proof as soon as you can.
Fire. I think that's probably really good advice for a lot of beginner owners. 'Cause I get that question a lot, right? Like sometimes I would say like set up like a beginner landing page, just link it,
Yeah.
establish that credibility. But if you don't even have that, yeah, for sure, just talk about your degree, or if you're a college student, like what you're studying and any apps you build. Like, just like how you have personal projects on your resume, just have personal projects linked in your email itself.
Yeah. And you can use that as leverage. Like for me, like I built like my app basically incorporates scraping. So I'm like, okay, I've released this, you can use it. And this is proof that I can scrape. I can apply this to your business. So you can like leverage it like that in a way.
Yeah, no, fire. $54,000 selling 2 AI apps while only working 5 hours a month. Yes, this does mean that in the last 6 months, I have been earning $2,300 an hour after all costs. That's nuts, I know. The crazy part is one of these apps is a private sale, meaning it cannot be found anywhere on the internet, while the other one is ranked number 1 on Google. In this video, I'll break down exactly how I'm getting paid $2,300 an hour with just 2 AI apps while barely working, so you can do the exact same and copy my success. By the way, there's no shame in copying. I mean, I want you to have this sort of success in the AI space. I want you to copy my success so you can be financially free, happy, and work from anywhere. All right, so $54,000 in 6 months. How on earth did I did it? We have one app right here. Then the first 6 months of this year, it's made about 44.6 grand. And the other one made about 10.1 grand, right? For the total of like 54.7K. This is how one day can look like when you have apps that are making you recurring revenue, right? This agent right here, and I'll use agent and app interchangeably because both of these apps are just agents that automate some sort of task, right? This one right here made $1,200 in one day, and this was actually yesterday. Today is the 16th. On the 15th, it made $1,200, which is absolutely crazy. So we're gonna break down app 1 first. Right here, $44,000 first 6 months, and again, this is how one day can potentially look like with your AI app. Now, how on earth did I get that first sale, right? Because the first sale is usually the hardest one. Well, I use Reddit. Reddit is one of the most slept on platforms ever in the AI and tech space, and you can get so many clients off of Reddit if you just know how to use it. See, I made one post about this other AI agent I made like super long ago that helped a tow truck guy get more tow truck jobs, right? And I made $1,000 through it. I wrote a whole description about that story, and I uploaded it on the R Entrepreneur thread on Reddit. It got 221,000 views. All right, 221,000 people saw this. And this subreddit, Our Entrepreneur, has about 4.2 million members, meaning a ton of people, right, are in that subreddit. So even if you get like a fraction of that, you're getting hundreds of thousands of views. And hundreds of thousands of views means people will DM you, people will comment, and people will want to work with you, right? They now know that I have this skill of automation. That's all I'm advertising. I'm not trying to sell my tow truck agent to anyone here, right? I don't even know how many tow truck guys are on this subreddit, but I know that there's business owners and I know that they need automation. So I'm gonna prove to them that I can automate. And from there, I got a person to DM me asking me to build an automation for them that would help them book shifts at work, okay? So the next stage was building the app. The back end, I use code, right? And now, you have Claude Code and Cursor. Coding is super easy. You can build a ton of different apps with under like 200 lines of code, right? Especially in the automation space. And that's what my project was. This is just one function. This is like the hardest looking function. I know it looks a little bit like gibberish, but I'll be honest, Cursor did this. Cursor AI was what I used to write a lot of the code for this. So it was very successful, right? And the front end, I use Bolt, which is a AI app builder platform for mobile apps. It uses React Native, which is a very popular coding language, again, for mobile apps. Was able to blend the two, used code for the back end, and then used AI for the front end. They coincided perfectly. They work together perfectly. Now, I know when you see this, you're probably like, oh my God, I can't code. I'm done. I'm out of this, right? That's horrible. Okay, you barely need to know how to code in the automation space to create some very powerful agents. In fact, if you're able to learn very beginner, basic level of coding, you're already separating yourself from everyone else who's trying to create AI apps or AI automations. You're already separating yourself. So think about it. How many people are there in the world that need automation? Billions. How many people actually know how to build automations? Maybe like max a couple 100,000. How many of those people only rely on no code tools? Like 80%. So if you want to be in the top 20%, you just have to learn a little bit of coding and you can let AI do the rest, right? And that's what I did to build this app. Now, the next point is market validation. How on earth did I even prove that, hey, this app can be used by multiple people? Now, the cool part is, I already have a existing client, right? The client came to me, asked me to build it, so I built it. Now, one thing to realize is that your client has friends, right? Your client will always have friends, and your client will most likely have friends in the existing space that he is in or she is in, right? And because this is a private sell, I don't have a landing page and I don't have a ton of like ads or I'm not using like YouTube or personal brand to get a ton of users on my app. No, it's a private sell. Now, the difference between a private sell and a public sell, right? Like a public app, you have the landing page. It's just plastered all over social media, right? So you can get a lot of users very quickly. But for private sells, you really can't. Luckily, with private sells, one user can equate to $600 a month. Like for my specific AI app, I literally have, originally I only had one user, right? And he was paying me $600 a month. And my goal was only 5 users, because with just 5 users, I'll be bringing in $3,000 a month, like passively every single month. That is absolutely nuts. And that's why private sales can be so great, because I don't have to rely on having hundreds of users just to make $2,000 MRR. For $2,000 MRR, I would only need about 4 users, right? So again, my goal was 5 users, and I already knew that one person wanted it, so I'm sure his friends wanted it too, right? And that's when it started to become a problem of not do people want it, but how can I find the people who want it? Because I know they do. And that's where I use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is extremely powerful when you know the exact type of person that will use your product, especially for private sales. So, for example, in this picture right here, you can pick which company someone's at. You can pick the company headcount, right? You can pick the company headquarters. You can look for the job title. Are they a CEO? Are they a server? Are they a waitress? Are they a software engineer? Are they a mechanical engineer? You can look at everything that a person's biography contains, right? You can look at their user experience. You can see, are they someone who is new to the industry? Are they someone who's been there for a long time? Depending on your solution, right? Whatever app or agent you create, you might want to target people who have been in the industry for a while, right? Who maybe have seen or gone through a bunch of struggles in their industry, right? Someone who's new to the industry might not know that, oh, this automation will help me a lot. But someone who's been in the industry would know the value of it, right? So you can do a ton of different filtering. Personally, I spammed LinkedIn Sales Navigator's free trial. I hate spending money on marketing. I'm a big proponent of zero cost marketing. I don't believe that you need to spend a lot of money to make a lot of money, right? If you can just harness the free trials of powerful tools, you can scale quickly. Platforms like N8N have good 14-day free trials. LinkedIn Sales Navigator has a 30-day free trial. In the LinkedIn Sales Navigator free trial, you get 50 in-mail credits, which is all that I needed. Now, for those of you who don't know, an in-mail is basically when you can message someone on LinkedIn without them having to connect with you. So if I want to message Mark Cuban, I could message Mark Cuban, right, with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And that's what makes it so great, because now you don't need to connect with your potential clients. You can just directly DM them and turn them into a client, right? You don't need to build some past relationship with them. So when I was using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I literally used up all 50 messages within 2 hours, because I was like, if they're giving me 50 messages and I've found the exact people I'm looking for, I'm just gonna blast all 50 messages. Why wait? Like, why would I wait to do this? I'm trying to scale quick. I'm trying to make money now, right? So I got about 15 responses out of the 50 different people I messaged. And of those 15, I got 7 to 8 closes. So remember, my goal was just 5 users. I surpassed that, right? And my revenue increased to about $4,005 a month from what it was before, $600 a month, right? And then from there, I was able to use what Alex Hormozi, a very popular entrepreneur, teaches, which is, upselling, downselling, referral systems. And what I did was once I hit that 4.5K to 5K MRR mark, I knew, okay, how can I increase my revenue even further? I used all 50 of my email credits. I'm not trying to pay money. Even though I was making about $5,000 a month, I was still so cheap that I did not want to even spend money on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which in retrospect, I should have spent the money. I mean, I could have scaled even quicker, right? I was just being cheap, to be honest, and that's why you shouldn't be cheap. But it worked out, and you can be cheap to an extent, right? But after a while, if you really want to scale and get serious, you do have to spend some money, right? And that's what I did, right? Later on. But to get to the 9K a month mark that, you see right here, which is how I got to this, right? On and off, of course. I launched this referral offer where I told all my current customers, you get $100 off your next month if you refer a friend, and your friend will also get $100 off. This is enough for someone who also has friends in the space to go to them and be like, hey bro, I got a great deal for both of us. And that's how you find pairs of clients, right? Clients come in pairs sometimes. People don't realize that. They can come in pairs, trios, quadruplets, right? You want to get that entire group. You don't just want one client and that's it. That client can most likely get you another client if you just present them the right offer, right? Which is what I did. And again, with private sales, you don't need a ton of clientele because you can literally charge $600, $700 a month, while regular SaaSes, which we will go over in the next AI app, you can only charge like $50 a month, $70 a month, maybe for enterprise like $180 a month, right? So there's a limit to it. Now, with all this being said, you're probably wondering, okay, you have so many clients, you have this app that you've built, that you probably maintain. How on earth are you only working like under 5 hours a month on this and still able to bring in $7,000 to $9,000 a month? Very good question. That's where we go into buying back our time. So this is how I bought back my time. And what I mean by buying back time is basically when you pay someone to do a task that you would normally do. So that way you have more freed up time to do another task or something else, right? So I added 2 new hires to my team for this app that I built. One was a maintenance developer, where I would give him a small percentage of profit, right? Not revenue. So if there's any other cost, like the customer support agent, he wouldn't get any percentage of the revenue that wasn't profit, right? And all he had to do was work on minor updates and any algorithm changes that results in the app not working as good as it used to, right? So he would just every month just do a couple of checks, a couple of updates if needed, and he would get a very small percentage of profit, right? And he was happy, I was happy, everything was good. The next big thing was handling customer questions. I'll get a lot of customer questions sometimes, especially if the app was like not working or there's a bug. And while it didn't take up too much of my time, it still took up time. So even 2 hours a week is too much for me, right? So I hired a customer support agent, paid him $100 a month only, right? And he handles customer questions and he onboards new customers. What more can I ask for, right? From this $100 a month payment, I freed up like 8 hours across a month, right? 2 hours a week, 4 weeks. I freed up 8 hours of my time, in a month, which is like one full working day. In that whole working day, I can build another app. You guys have seen my previous videos where I've created apps in like under 10 hours. That's why you got to buy back your time, and now, right, I spend under 2 hours a month on this app, right? My duties consist of deciding on any new updates, right? If I'm like, I want to change the look of my app, I want to change the entire UI, then that's something that I would decide on, right? And I do have like a weekly check-in with the developer as well as the support agent to make sure everything is good, everything is smooth. A weekly check-in can be like just a text message on Discord or iMessage. So very, very, easy. Now we go into my public app, right? This is the traditional apps that you usually see on YouTube and social media, right? First 6 months of this year, it brought about 10.1K, right? One thing you probably notice is these failed payment rates. You're like, hey, why are there so many failed payments? Usually what's happening with my tool, I think I have the Stripe misconfigured. It would charge a card after someone canceled, but it would automatically cancel the payment, right? So it'd be like a failed payment. I think that's what's happening. If you know better, feel free to comment, because I don't know why this is the case, right? Now, how do I get the first sale for this? Well, I have a website for this. Like I said, again, this is a very public app, right? You can go to the website, instadm.ai, and people will go to this page, right? They can either book a meeting with me, or they can just automatically buy the product at the bottom, right? So the user can visit the website, right? And the user can book a meeting with me using the book a meeting button, right? Again, user can buy the website directly. So this is how that looks like. Quick and easy way. A user can come here and they can buy. If they're logged in, they can click. There'll be a buy now button right here, which they can click. They can subscribe to their pro plan, and boom, now they're paying me $60 a month, and it's all good, right? Enterprise plan 130, starter plan $30 a month. I don't have to do anything, right? They just go to the website, buy the product, everything is smooth, no time is taken out of my hands. Then you have the bottleneck, when they actually book a meeting with me, which means that they want to talk to me, probably ask me questions about the app first, and then they'll be more than willing to actually, purchase the app. Now, this most likely results in a for sure buy, because someone's willing to hop on a meeting with you, talk about the app. They're probably highly interested. So this will result in most likely having users. But if I want 10 users, does that mean I have to hop in 10 meetings? Maybe I'm just being lazy, right? But I'd rather have someone else do it so I can work on something else in the business, right? This is why this can be a bottleneck. If you're hopping in meetings every single day, you're losing out time. Even if a meeting is just 15 minutes, 10 meetings a day is nearly 2.5 hours of your time that can be spent on something else, right? So this is where we got to break down the bottleneck. Now, this is how I break down my bottleneck with this. I have a Calendly form, and on this form, I ask the user's name, their email, where they're located. I ask them their current MRR, so their monthly revenue. I ask them what they're looking to use InstaDM for, and what's their monthly budget, right? This way I can get a good idea of whoever is on the other side of that call, right? For example, the location. Are they from a cheaper region? If I know they're from India, or let's say a continent like Africa, right? Or any other like countries in Africa, or India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, where people I know over there, they're from like a cheaper area because like the currency is different. The dollar is too strong against like the rupee, or like, so for example, like yen, right, in Japan. So as a result, the chances of them being able to spend a lot of money on this is not too high, right? So I need to know that. Then to be more specific, I check out the MRR, right? How rich is this client? Let's be honest. How much money does this client have? Because if they have enough money to, let's say they're making like 3K to 10K, or especially 10K to 30K, I know that, yes, they can definitely buy my product. I mean, our product is what? Like the max is $130 a month on like the enterprise plan. Come on, right? That's nothing for someone who's making 10 to 30K a month, right? So can I upsell them on something bigger? I run an AI transformation business where I help businesses automate all their tasks, train their employees, everything, right? So can I upsell them on a greater offer, right? So by just having this information about the business, I could potentially retarget them for my future business ventures, right? Then also look at the budget. Is this company willing to spend, or are they cheap? Because you could have a company that's making like 30K a month and they're super cheap, where they don't want to spend any money on outreach, right? If they don't want to spend money on outreach and they're only putting $0 to $1,000 a month, I'm not going to pitch them, hey, hop on the enterprise plan, right? I might just pitch them, hop on the pro plan, right? So I like to know how much the company's willing to spend. Usually I still try to get them on the enterprise plan if they have high MRR. But if they have a low MRR and a low monthly budget, there's someone I'm like, I probably don't want to waste my time talking to, because the chance of them buying, they're asking a lot of questions. They're going to try nickel and dime. I really don't want to deal with that. I'd rather have someone else deal with it. Wink, wink. Right? And then, of course, I check their name, phone, and email for hyper-targeted marketing. Like I said, if I find someone with very high MRR, I can always retarget them later on, right? By having their email, their phone, hitting them up saying, hey, do you want AI consulting? Or do you want an AI agent worth like $5,000? Because I know they have the money to spend for that, right? And that's how that's part of how I'm breaking down my bottleneck. Now, the actual breaking down is right here. If a client has a low MRR, their monthly revenue is very low, let's say under $10,000, I like to have my new hire handle it. My new hire is a closer, right? And it's an example where he got 1 user on the enterprise plan, 2 users on starter plan, and 1 user from the June month repurchase monthly pro plan, July and August as well. So he's basically saying that he's gotten 4 to 5 users on this app, right? Which results in probably about like $400 a month in added revenue, right? Which is pretty solid. This is like a slower month anyways, right? So the new hire, handles this work, and then his responsibilities, right, as a closer is he's handling closing calls with customers and he gets them to buy, right? He also handles onboarding the customer. So once they buy, he wants to make sure the customer has a very good experience in using the app. They know how to use the app. They know where to find the help resources, the support channels, right? They understand everything about it, right? And he also reports to me if there's a customer with potential upsells. So all the meeting notifications go to him. And if he sees that, hey, one of the clients has like a 30K MRR, some very high monthly revenue, right? Then I'll handle it, okay? Because I know I can strike bigger deals than just Instagram outreach with these companies. Like I said, it could be AI agent deal, AI consulting deals. I know I can just do much more, right? And this is where I spend the 2 to 3 hours a month on this app now, is I just handle the big boy calls, right? If there's a big boy call, Mr. Big Boy is going to be there, okay? And that's where I'm spending most of my time on this. I spend more time on this app than right here, simply because of these closing calls where the client has a very high MRR, right? Now, marketing this app was actually a pure accident. I made a whole video on this as well, but just to recap, we're #1 ranked on Google if you search up Instagram Mass DM, which is insane, right? This app helps users do a bunch of Instagram outreach, right? And we're ranked #1 on Google for that. That's not sponsored. These are all sponsored, which is why they're ahead of us, but we're not sponsored and we're ranked 1. So we get a ton of lead flow coming from Google search, right, to our app, which makes things amazing, right? And we have a 600+ member Discord with a support staff. So this is another part of the new hires, right, where you can see right here, members will, or users will open up tickets asking for help, right? And I kind of explain how to open a ticket, and we have all these tickets right here. And then we have Abdeen, who's gonna actually help service these people and respond to any of their questions, which is great, right? This is an offshore person, so obviously the labor isn't too expensive. And yeah, it's a very easy, no time taken up out of my day to run this app, aside from the big meetings. I have one last surprise for you. Yes, I work under 5 hours a month combined on these 2 AI apps, and I'm still able to bring in deep 5 figures and take home profit. But I know you're probably like, cool, man, good for you. This won't work for me. Wrong. This will, and here's why. You no longer have to keep watching YouTube videos to learn how to build and sell AI automations. I will work with you one-on-one and personally guide you to earning at least $3,000 a month selling AI automations and apps without having to work multiple hours every single day. Because come on, we're lazy. So if you want to work one-on-one with me, click the first link in the description below. I said it once and I'll say it again. If you want to make $10,000 this year, and this year is not over yet, there's still a couple of months, you can do it. You can try to learn and apply everything you've learned in this video by yourself, or you can work with me one-on-one to fast track your success. Again, I've helped 100+ students all across the world earn thousands every single month with their AI business. So if you're interested, click the first link in the description. See you on the other side. Until next time, stay frosty.